Hey, everybody, and thank you, Sud. All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the quasi-special Sunday night edition of Emberwind, because we want to play at least once this month. So thank you, everyone, Brahms, Jennifer, and Sud, for being here. Marie is I think, still away with personal things, and we hope everything's going well for her and her family. But we're going to continue with Emberwind, the intrigues of Axia, with tonight's episode, Preparations and Plots. I'm going to recap what I remember, since it has been a while, since we kind of skipped October, I believe. Let's see. When we left our intrepid heroes, they had just kind of suffered through a embarrassing bout of food poisoning at Laureate's Inn that she runs for certain family, quote unquote, family members that she feels responsible for. And the party got to meet some of them, which was interesting. But the chasers delivered a message, first gastronomically and then verbally, by saying that the harassment would continue until they got what they wanted, which is kind of Everest in a way, to be honest. So that didn't go all that well, and a lot of people had really bad time there. Meanwhile, the Starlight Commons charity ball is rapidly approaching, and the Savoy family is definitely expected to attend, and who will be her plus ones and twos, we're going to find out soon. But that's in a couple days, and I know the party still has a few things they need to do, a few side errands that need to be handled, etc., etc., etc. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So I believe you guys were heading back to, or had just reached, the Savoy household after everything had gone down this evening. So take it away.
All right. So we're currently in the. Are we walking, or did we take your?
We had a carriage.
Carriage. That's right. We had the carriage and all that.
Yeah. So it's basically, we're at the courtyard. We arrived there, and my sister was waiting with a sheaf of papers that turned out to be invitations.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. That's true.
Right. And the last thing that I remember, Grinder had said that all debts would be paid with our group if we handed over Elbrus. And
we
should probably tell him. We should probably tell him what happened.
Yes. I know my sister Shannon and I and Savoy had a brief conversation, and the last thing she thought was, well, I've got a retinue that'll go with me to the ball, so nobody's getting out of that one.
So when's it? It's in 3 days?
3 days. 3 nights.
Pretty much.
Wish my sister a good night. We'll have a discussion about things in the morning, but we should probably go have a conversation with our erstwhile fire mage.
Yeah, let's go find him.
Indeed. All right.
I'm sure a servant will point me in the right direction.
Everest, where are you in the household? I thought. No, no, it's true. You weren't there. Things might have gone very differently if you had been there last time. That's true. Where are you in the household?
I'd assume back in the library. I still think he's trying to decipher more information on the what is it?
Spiritualist.
Soul
spiritualist. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of what I figured. And yes, the servants will happily direct you. He's kind of, by now they're saying he's in the usual spot. Yep. So you go to the library, and voila, there he is again.
You're still reading.
What do you mean, am I still reading? Of course I'm still reading.
Oh, I was just interested. I, don't really know much about you and your people, and think you'd be have such a thirst for knowledge.
Bookworm.
Well, when that knowledge could potentially kill you, it tends to be a particular bit of pertinence to do so.
Speaking of which, this may have to do with your well-being. We just had a encounter with Grinder.
More like a run-in ambush.
Yeah, more like an ambush, I guess you could say. That's probably the best way to describe it. And Apparently, he wants you.
Oh, glad to see I've made an impression.
Well, he's starting to attack families of us.
Mm.
Do you guys actually fill
Well,
him in on
that-
what happened there?
We're about to get to.
Oh, that's right. We should probably mention that. I will let Laureate explain that.
While you were busy reading, we headed over to my place to have a little. They wanted to have a bit of an explanation about a few things, and on the way back, well, before we left, the people that I work with or live with, their lives have now been threatened by Grinder. And what happened is they work at a tavern, and they poisoned the food. And luckily, though, because we were there, well, at least I could heal them, get rid of the poison, but I'll be there every time they do that. So...
Yes, that is a little problematic.
He mentioned that he had contacts pretty much everywhere in the city, and that every estate, including the Veneer estate, needed to have food and water delivered. And the next time, it wouldn't be quite so nice. And let me tell you, it wasn't nice to begin with.
Well, it seems like we have a slightly more pressing matter to attend to. Wouldn't you agree, then?
Yeah, we need to take care of Grinder. Or at least get him off our back.
I don't want to pay the price that he wants. And I'm not certain, even if we did, he would actually...
I don't think Everest wants to be handed over.
No.
Unless you have some reasoning to wanting to be handing over Everest.
No.
I mean, the only other... the only
He
other...
hasn't burned down my library yet, so no, I have no reason to.
The only other reason I could possibly see is if handing me over would get him off your back
It wouldn't.
and stop this from happening. But my thought is there a way we could, issue out a ploy in this case to lull him into a false sense of security?
By doing what?
Possibly falsely handing me over to him.
You mean try and set up some kind of ambush to what? Kill him?
I wouldn't mind him dead at this point.
I mean, like, I wouldn't mind him dead at this point as well, but it's...
Cut off the head of the snake and whole body stops moving.
Not with the chasers. That's not how they work. Though it may give us a bit of reprieve, but I don't think the chasers will just forget or forgive us. The next grinder will come along and just use that against us.
They're not forgiving us now, so
we need
what we need
is some kind of absolute that will make him. They'll stop them. And I don't know how best to do this.
Well, Kendrick wants me to get Lady Makia to trust me. I know Rhea would like an inside information on both of the two nobles. We have different contacts that we could ask for help. And I'm pretty sure he would not. He would expect an ambush if we just handed Elfris over.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling if we tried to do any kind of handing over Everest, he'd probably set up an ambush himself and kill us after we hand him over. So I think that plan's kind of not going to work.
Also, we have the Starlight Ball in 3 days. You can bet something's going to happen there. I just don't know what.
I feel like we just need to get someone more powerful than the Chasers to put pressure on them.
Yes.
And I might have someone who may be able to help, but I'm not sure. The other option is I can ask Reyes for help. She may be able to do something, but she's very limited compared to others in her position.
Well, if we have multiple different directions attacking the Chasers, it might pull Grinder off his personal vendetta, maybe. But I don't know.
It's possible, but I mean, giving him a distraction would definitely give us a break that we may need.
Another thing, didn't you say that this was an Ixis woman? She was with the Chasers?
Yes, they were working together. When I was captured, Grinder was there with her.
So, if we can, perhaps somehow if we can say that the Chasers were part of these murders, some kind of, we can put that on them, which I think it could work legally, in a legal sense. I'm not really much of a stickler for the law around here. We may be able to get Reyes, may be able to put some kind of authority down on the Chasers. That would be one thing we could do. Though we still don't know anything about Ixis and her abilities.
That's what I've been spending my time trying to decipher.
Well, if you want, Reyes has actually given me authorization to take you to the academy to research more.
It's Rhea, by the way.
Rhea, sorry.
Yeah.
That might be very useful in this case because I'm tapped out of not anything useful out of this particular book, but I mean, again, my knowledge is incredibly limited and we need every resource we can get.
Well, this resource is large. Let's just say that you'll be sitting in what looks like a sea of stars when it comes to books. Now, the problem with this is that researching may take a lot of time, a lot of your time.
We don't have a lot of time.
And we only have a few days before this ball starters. And to do this, to go to the academy and research her a bit more, it's going to be a bit of a problem because of the political side of things. I don't know what exactly.
Would you care to clarify? When you say political, keep in mind that
I was formerly part of the academy, and I was ostracized and removed from the academy. And me going there is going to be a bit of a political storm in those circles. Though I have to be there because I need to keep an eye on you and what the Academy is thinking. I need to make sure that you're all right, because I have no idea what kind of response the Academy is going to do.
That would be fair in this case. So, do we want... Here are options. Do we want to handle Grinder first and see about getting in touch with our contacts? Or do we want to see about getting me to the Academy?
Well, for me to get to my contact,
think
it may
that
take me a while. It'll take me probably a day or so to get a response to see him.
We have 3 days before the ball.
So,
Savoy, do
you have any idea
thoughts
what you want
on-
to do, Savoy? What do you
Me?
think best course of action is?
Well, first of all, when it's in the evening, nobody's going to be no normal person's going to be accepting messages or visitors right now. Now, I understand neither of you are normal, but my thought is in the morning I'm going to go see if I can meet up with Lady Makia. I suggest that the two of you either go see Rhea or go see Kendrick and see if you can get pressure put on Grinder from either one or both of those quarters. And at the same time, you work on the contact. I'm not certain you're going to get a stranger into the Academy before the Starlight Ball.
And I have to also read very carefully what, so I believe Rhea said she would send some kind of documents over or something like that. So I've got to very carefully read over what it says.
Right. So I think right now, get some rest. Tomorrow, go see Rhea. Figure out if Kendrick can help in some way. Or Maddox. Maddox can help in some way.
Yeah, I'm sure Max would be able to think of something.
And I will see if I can even get an appointment to see Lady Makia. She may not be as amenable, but we'll see. I don't know. Other than that, I have no intention of handing over Everest, or even pretending to, because I don't think it would solve the problem.
I agree. I'm sure Everest does too.
I think we're in agreement there.
What? Dress him up like a pig. Come on, let's see what happens. Oh, sorry.
But-
Change alignment, kidnap Everest, and
Hey, alignment is very fluid in Emberwind, to the point we don't even really have it. So if you guys decide it was in your best interest, I'm not gonna stop you. There's no
You know
real
what? If
penalty
I
here,
actually
technically.
thought it would work to protect my family, oh yeah, he'd be gone. I'd be like, yeah,
Wow! Everest, give me
but
your
I don't think
Kosh
it's
on the
going to
head.
protect my family.
Mm,
Yep.
Hey.
I really don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to
Maybe
he'd be
it
like,
would.
oh, look, there's
Maybe it wouldn't.
Savoy's weak spot.
Mm, mm.
Let me
Well, they already have a pretty good idea of
your.
They already have a pretty good idea of your weak spots.
Yeah,
Except for
well,
Everest, because he doesn't have anyone except you guys, but that's still a weak spot.
yeah.
So yeah.
At this point, Savoy is like, let's just fucking murder the guy. But she's not going to say it that way. So we're just
Privy,
going to find.
we should eliminate him from our sight. Yeah, something like that.
or we could
Well,
just
well,
wait.
no
Wait, what
one
if we
helped
just
you with this
kill
damn
Everest? That'll solve
grinder.
all the problems.
Oh, wait. Well, no one. Oh, what was that quote? Will no one deal
No
with
one
this?
rid me. Was it rid me of this man? Was it what's his face? Canterbury? No,
Yeah. Rid me of this
Um,
troublesome priest.
that's it. Yeah,
Well, no one rid me
yeah.
of this troublesome chaser.
right. I don't think it was Canterbury.
Yes.
I think it was the other guy. Anyways,
Oh.
yeah. But the point is the same exactly.
Yes. You have to remember, she is a noble.
Yes.
And he is a foreigner. And at this point, it's just like, you know what? He is an inconvenient person. I like him.
All right.
But I don't think it would solve the problem.
Indeed. All right.
And you're lucky that it won't solve the problem. Because she might be like, yeah, you know what? Sorry, Everest. You've been interesting. You made my life interesting for a while and somewhat inconvenient. Now you're going to deal with the problem. But I really don't believe that's going to happen. So I think we need to talk to our allies who are higher up the food chain. And that would be Maddox, Rhea, and Nakia.
And
Yay.
I need to also quickly head out tonight and just send word.
Go for a stroll. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No, we already know that he's got that.
Yes, he did mention that is correct.
She told us basically, look, I got to go do some things on our own. Please don't follow me. Y'all suck at it.
Yeah, this is that same contact that I need that can very private, and so I need to respect that, I think.
So,
all right.
yep.
Any other
Savoy.
topics or anything else that needs to be okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Savoy, I would like to make some inquiries about a particular individual that I had seen when we were coming out of Maddox's lunch, and we were stopped by that group that took us in.
The military order.
There were, what, 15 people there? Which one?
There was one there. I didn't say anything at the time because it really wouldn't have helped anything. But the one person I'm looking for, he was the one that actually got me out of that ever inconvenient situation with Grinder and Ixis. I thought he was dead. You recall me telling you of him?
Yes. And if he is not dead, then I suspect when you and Laureate go see Rhea, Captain Rhea, you can inquire then? Or do you not want Rhea to know?
I suppose I could. I'm debating on that. Because I'm wondering, how deep does this go? Is he working with other groups? Is he working with one group?
I suspect if he would like to get in contact with you again, he would know where to meet, but I mean...
When you saw him, did he give you any kind of indication that, like, any kind of secret communication, even by facial expressions, that he knew you?
No. There was no facial tick, no hidden meaning.
Didn't you say he was on fire?
Stoned.
Yeah.
Yes.
No guard there looked like they had been recently burned.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you certain it is the same person?
Positive.
Okay. Well, then you need to make a choice. Choose if you want Rhea to know. If not, then when you go with Laureate, you figure out a way to contact him in a subtle manner. Otherwise, you have a conversation with Rhea, and you be frank about things, and you see if you can have a conversation with him in private.
Did you tell Rhea about this agent?
No, I never mentioned it.
Okay.
So she has no idea.
Maybe I could speak when we speak to Rhea. We do need some kind of contact between us and Rhea so we don't directly go and see her every time.
Right.
Maybe we can have this person be our contact and then you can see for yourself.
Do you know his name?
I knew him as Griggs.
Grix.
That's right.
Right, so that's another thing.
However, it's probably not his real name, considering he's working with the military order.
Point. In that case, you're going to have to find a way to contact him in a more subtle manner, but I don't have any way of doing that. I don't even know who you're talking about.
I was just looking to see if you had anybody in mind that I could use as like go-between.
All my communication with the guard has been through being arrested falsely and having a very
grumpily
frank conversation with Captain Rhea, who has been very forthright about what she wants. So my go-between would be sending a runner to Captain Rhea.
I mean, I'm sure the Vanier family gives to the military order, widows and orphans fund, yada yada yada. But yeah. You don't really have that kind of. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, all of my public contact with Captain Rhea is to be very irritated with her by her request. Mm-hmm. So I would not be the one. In fact, I would be sending you as a runner rather than anybody else. So, contacting with the guard would be me sending someone within the household or someone useful. And if you think that that would be useful, if you wouldn't be waylaid by the chasers on the way, we can do that. I can officially send some sort of something to Captain Reyes that I ask you to deliver.
Honestly, you make a good point about the being waylaid by the chasers. I wouldn't want any of your household to, get involved. So I agree that in this case, maybe the best course is that we go together, me and Laureate.
And perhaps maybe put on a hat or something. You are a little bit visible with the
and a bath
and an actual jacket or actual cloak.
I realize I've been reading for a while. I also haven't slept for a few days.
And that is not something that we can help you with, other than give you a place to stay, feed you, and I have done so. Thus, you not sleeping or eating at this point is on you.
Oh, I'm not arguing that point. All I'm saying is if I haven't bothered to take a bath because I've been busy.
Well, it's late. I need to go report to my sister and hope that she doesn't chew my head off. While the two of you decide what you need to do, Laureate, go make your contact. Alvarez, take a bath, get some real clothes, that sort of thing. Just talk to the servants. And when we have you leave the house again, perhaps you won't be quite so noticeable. Is that acceptable?
Yes, mother.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, I am going to go do what I need to do. And she leaves. She's just like, all right, I'm done. I'm out. I have had it.
She was. Yeah. So she's like, she leaves. I go.
Turns on her heels, stalks off. You guys like.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything you two needed to discuss before the morning? Or, Laurie, are you on your way out as well?
Yeah, I'm on my way out to.
Okay.
see if I can either get to my contact, see if he wants to contact me now, if I have to leave a message so that we can meet up. Maybe the next night.
All right. So Savoy's going to meet with her sister.
Yep.
Laureate's going to meet with her contact, and Everest is taking a bath. I just want to make sure I have the what's happening for the evening for people all clear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Well,
maybe
well,
get
is
some
he
food
gonna,
and
wait,
rest.
wait, Everest, are you going to take a bath? Very important.
I know.
I'm honestly thinking about it. Well, I mean, he will.
He was never
I think he
seen
will,
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna melt.
Yeah. No, he's gonna go.
So yep. The whole what is it? Friday the Nightmare on Elm Street. He's stuck through the bath drain. No, it's probably a good idea if he's going to visit higher ups and all that. He does know the idea of etiquette. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, and he would speak to the staff about getting a cloak, but proper clothing is a debatable question with him. He's pretty fond of his current set of clothes. I mean, he may send those
proper
out
clothing to hide the fact that you have your arms are so bloody visible.
See, and then if you do the cloak, you can do the whole swirl it out as you reveal the arms and tattoos and the fire and everything. So it's all panache,
well, that's
all
what I'm
panache,
saying.
baby. Yeah.
He's gonna get a nice Holocaust cloak for.
There. See, exactly.
See, this will
Let
help.
yourself on fire.
Oh.
All right. The servants draw you a very lovely bath. Actually, it's quite nice, and actually bring you some food because I don't know the last time you've eaten either for a while. That is also true. And that's what kind of hits you. That's
doing the same thing.
Oh, sure. Well, that's a given. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh. And that's when it kind of hits you, Everest. That, it has been a couple days since you had rest. When you nearly fall asleep and drown yourself in the tub, you're like, oh, geez, maybe I should call it a night after this, because it's just very relaxing and almost too relaxing, like I said. So that's probably, unless you have something else to do after your ablutions are done, that's probably going to be your evening, unless you had something you wanted to do.
Not really. I don't think he's not. He's done as much research on the spiritualist.
You pretty much exhausted the library that the Vanier family has. That's true, because they didn't have a lot, because it's not really an area of interest that their family needs to be up on. So it was very cursory. Yeah, spiritualism for beginners. That's pretty much it. Like the dummies got it.
Yeah.
Right. So and it wasn't really all that useful for the type of information you're really looking for.
Yeah, we don't know anybody who actually, eats souls. It's just not a thing.
Right. And since haunted furniture hardly ever comes up in anything, it's like really not a deal. Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go to Laureate next.
Yep. So I head to the Dry Dock Tavern.
All right. So, give me an insight roll while you're on your way there, please. It's let's see. This was.
Am I
going to
get ambushed? Fail.
Hour. Okay. Well, great start. Yeah. All right. No, you're not. At least you don't notice anything untoward. It's probably getting along. Let's see. Going there, blah blah blah. Events happen. You guys were. Oh yeah, that's right. You were kind of accosted on the way back, and then back to the house. Talked. It's probably going around like 8 o'clock at night ish, like 8:30. So the evening hours, it's dark. Let's put it that way. But you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Okay. You make it to the dry dock. Evening festivities are well in hand. The place is crowded, boisterous. Some singing, lots of drinking. The usual, for a near the airship docks bar. What do you wish to do?
So I do the same thing as I did before. It was like sit at the bar and just get a cheap drink and just wait.
I mean, they never really gave you kind of like any kind of code or
they just said to
you're
wait
not knocking
here
on the bar, shaving a
eventually-
haircut 2 bits or anything like that. Yeah, exactly. So all right, okay. So you're gonna nurse your watered wine and kind of wait.
Wait, probably I'd say till like 11 o'clock. See if there's anything from them, and if nothing, I'll just head back But I will leave a message with the barkeep and said, if anyone's looking for me, I'll be here tomorrow.
Do you do that when you first sit down?
When I leave.
or-
When I leave. If I've had no contact.
All right, so you're going to nurse that drink. All right. Savoy.
Yes.
Off to visit your sibling, right?
Yeah, I remember we had a brief conversation and something about here's the ball, and I was like, well, okay, I know who my retinue is.
Right.
And then I warned her about Grinder, and she said something along the lines of, "It's not just the households they can attack. It's something about
Well,
warehouses."
Yeah, I mean, it's supply lines. It's our entire business. It's the Veneer family business that could be at stake if they chose to, let's say, focus their energies on your family
Yes.
more. Yeah. You
And
guys, you have a long tendrils throughout the city, and those lines could be cut or interrupted at any point in time. Yeah.
I think I had said that's when I said that I needed to go talk to Lady Makia.
Right.
And that was the last thing I remember saying to her. So that probably didn't go over real well.
Well, as I recall, she just warned you to be careful with dealing with Makia. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, Makia, she's dangerous, but she's powerful, and she might.
She's a sweet old lady. What has she ever done to you guys? Nothing that you're aware of.
That I'm aware of. Yes. Except she did buy or pay off Mama's ship, and now has it wherever she's got it.
Yeah.
And I know she had Moma spying on us. Then again, she
Yeah,
also
that wasn't necessarily overtly, against you per se.
No, it wasn't. It was just
Technically.
It was confirming information. Is pretty much it.
Right.
Ask from get your thumb on different sources, and then confirm information.
Yep. Just a quick shout out, hey nonstop to Kanya, and I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Dogs. I think it looks like you kind of mashed the keyboard, but welcome everyone. This is Emberwind. After a bit of a hiatus, we are on with episode 15, plots and preparations. So we will continue. Just wanted to give a shout out to everyone in the stream. Thanks for joining us this Sunday evening. So you are going to see your sister?
Yeah, I will, just unless she doesn't have anything else to say to me. I mean, I told her what my plan was. It just
but your sister's always has time for you. That's why your sister. That's the whole point. So.
I may have to. I can't disappear until after the ball, but after the ball, I may have to spend. We might have to leave for a while.
Indeed. All right. So how are you going about contacting her?
I'll just go to her quarters.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like she's probably in her sitting room.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So I'm not sure what your protocol is. Do you knock, or do you just walk in, or what?
Oh, I'm sure at this point I can just knock and come in.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you say come in, just in case you're trying to barge in, It's
not like I wouldn't be. The servants either use servants' quarters.
Right.
They knock if something is needed, or somebody has arrived, and if I haven't sent someone, I just knock and come in.
Yeah, it's the are you expected or not kind of thing. Exactly.
No, well, actually, since we met in the courtyard, and I'm like, I will talk to you shortly. She's probably expecting me. I'm like, let's not have this conversation in the courtyard.
Indeed.
So.
All right. All right. Anyways, you go to her quarters. You enter or admitted, or however you want to do it.
Yeah.
And she's at her desk apparently. I don't know, bookkeeping. You're not sure. It's covered with papers. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. She looks like she's, handling affairs of the house. Let's put it that way. All right. She greets you warmly, of course. Oh, Savoy, good. I could use a break.
Yes.
She pushes back and heads for the sideboard. Drink?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Just pours two. Maybe the glass is a bit fuller than usual, and hands you one.
It has been a day.
Indeed. The council's springing this whole ball event on us in 3 days. 3 days. I don't know what they're thinking. Come, sit. She takes you to,
Do you
like you
think
said,
Lady
kind of a sitting
Mafia is the
area.
one who decided that we needed the ball, or was it Maddox?
Actually, she's about to answer. Then she like takes a drink and like, that's a good question.
Because
I mean,
it's to I mean, it's to celebrate the saving of Gelsvar, which, as far as I know, was not high on the council's, priorities.
now.
But Lady Machia may have her own plans involving Maddox. Or Maddox somehow managed to get it pushed through, because I don't know. I know the two of them are rivals.
Well, given what you said, in that Maddox's esteem has risen in the city considerably, especially among the people of Gelspar, for saving it, thanks to your efforts.
Yes.
He might be throwing about his newfound clout to integrate Gelspar more firmly with the city. I mean, after all, the council certainly couldn't look upon the area now as flotsam to be cast off anymore.
No.
Now that with his high profile, and it's high profile as well. That is a good question. On the other hand, now outside of game, I'm going to step out of gameplay for a second. When you guys were in the Silverglades, because I honestly don't remember, I have to go back and look at the session. When you were talking to the Rift Mage,
Right.
it was the council came up, right? Was that the case? Because I honestly don't recall which. Right, because she gave you the opening, you guys seized upon it and tried to work that way. Okay. But it was just the council, as you recall, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are aware an element, or the council entirely, was apparently behind this idea to also blow the Silverglades off. All right, I just want to make sure we're clear on that. And that's how I recalled it too. Well, yeah, but that's not saying they had any reason to be deceptive about what was going on. She assumed something that was wrong, obviously, but you guys gained valuable information as a result of it.
Wait. I honestly don't remember this, so I'm like, I know somebody was trying to blow up something, and that was the connection to the Silverglades?
When you guys took the elevator up to the Silverglades, and you had those mages there, and she grumbled something about the council didn't need to send babysitters. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
And you guys tried to play along with, we're here to inspect, blah, 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 and it didn't, of course, it went badly. That was the Slither Spines and the teleporting mages, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But I just want to make sure that was all that was stated, that either the council or elements of it were trying to blow apart or eliminate the Silverglades.
And they had money from some other place.
Summit. The Rift Keepers, you know this, the Rift Keepers are based in Summit, so their money is from Summit. They have a different currency over there called the Zenith. Yeah. Yep, it's a little gold. Gold ingoty thing. Yep. So, all right, I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on that, because if it had gone a different way, that would make a difference. But yeah. So yeah, there's still that lingering aspect of, well, if the council was doing Silverglades, So, but your sister said the point is either one of them might have advanced this, and keep in mind, or it could be another lord trying to curry favor with Maddox. This whole tangled up council thing. She drains off her glass, which, by the way, she drank rather quickly. When she walks back to her desk and says, "It's funny you should mention Machia, though. Along with the invitation came this," and she brings a second sheaf of paper, folded missive, and hands it to you.
Oh.
And it has the House Machia seal on it as well. It is unbroken. She's like,
all right.
And it is addressed to you, Savoy.
That's concerning. I open it.
Mm-hmm. And in the Lady Machia's rather spidery hand, because, she's an old woman. But it was definitely, you could tell, she wrote it. She didn't, dictate it or anything. And it says, "Greetings, House Veneer. I would be most pleased if Lady Savoy Veneer would call upon me on the morrow, as we have business to discuss."
Here. Well, I guess.
Cordially, Lady Makia. Da, 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 da. Oh, I look forward to seeing her. Cordially, blah 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 blah. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So let me step out because it's been, I don't know, a month or something.
Mhm.
Did I actually have business with her?
This is brand new to you. No, as far as you're aware, you kind of, you're to the best of my knowledge. We left it at you're still kind of in with her because of the whole thing with her nephew, blah blah blah. So you kind of have this arm's length
Right.
relationship, but you
And
had nothing on your docket with her.
No.
You said you were
She
going to
told
talk
me
to
not
her,
to
etc.,
talk
etc.
about The
Because of Rhea.
Skyworm. And I spun the
Yes.
story about it actually being a ship called the Skyworm.
Right. Right.
So that was enough that would make a lot of people confused. Either it was a Skyworm or a ship called the Skyworm, and that's
Mhm.
fine. The rumors are all over the place.
Right.
Okay.
And you were going to visit her on your own accord because of what Rhea said. Now she's reaching out to you directly, saying, "Hey, we got business." Yes, that is
Wait, no,
exactly.
she wanted me to spy on Maddox.
Oh yeah, that too.
So hopefully that's what this is. But I don't say that aloud. I just sort of read it like,
Damn,
wow.
my internal voice. Shoot.
I
Right.
don't say it actually loud, but I'm sure it's all written all over my face, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
Well, your sister's none too happy too, and she's like, is this what's what's going on, basically?
At this point, Lady Makia has the best of me. I am not quite certain what business she is speaking of right now, but I'm sure I'm going to find out. You did warn me that once caught, you can't get free, and I know that. And what I'm
Yet
doing is
here
for the
she's
best of
inviting you
myself.
into her web willingly, which does not bode well.
Well, I need to ask her a favor anyway.
Do what now?
I need to ask her a favor.
Let me repeat myself. Do what now? A favor for what?
I would like to see exactly how far her power extends and if she's willing to do this favor for me. And if she is, that will solve a couple of problems. If she is not, then that will tell me something else.
Is this one of those things that's on a need-to-know basis and I shouldn't need to know?
Yes.
Does it have to do with the thing that happened? Wait, did you tell your sister about what happened earlier?
Yes, oh yes I did. And I said that she should
Okay.
make sure that we don't have any new servants.
Right. Does this have to do with what happened earlier? This evening?
Yes.
Well, then that kind of does involve us. So...
It
What-
does
what-
involve us, but it may be due to my participation in this. And if that is the case, then we'll see what happens.
Except if something happens to you, I can't be left in the dark here. So I think I don't want to press, but I think I have to press on exactly what you're planning. It's
I'm
better for me
going
to know than
see-
to be left in the dark.
I'm going to see if she has the ability to deal with one of the lowlifes that is causing so many problems, who apparently has quite a few contacts within the nobles, or at least one very good one. I'm not sure.
Ah. Well, that's interesting.
He claims to have contacts within her household.
It's that thug from Gelspar,
Yes. Yes,
the chasers they call themselves.
the ones who poisoned Laureate's family's tavern this
Right.
afternoon. The one who has directly threatened this household. Not something I can let stand. And
Of course not.
if she can deal with this, then that tells me something. If she cannot,
True.
then, or is not willing to.
Hmm.
I'm tangled
Sister-
within her web no matter what. The question is, can I get anything out of it for the benefit of this family?
Or just sink yourself in deeper so when she calls upon us to repay it, it is more than what we can afford.
She's going to call upon us. How many times has she shown up unexpectedly in this household in the last couple of weeks?
Nobles visit all the time. It's not
Yes,
unexpected.
but not Lady Makia.
True. I'm not sure this is the best course of action. Perhaps this is something we need to take care of. No, of course not, sister. I would not do that. I'm just saying I want you to think very carefully about it, and we should both sleep on it, and perhaps meet before you head out in the morning. It is... Well, I've already said it's hazardous. She has business with you, so she has a topic she wants to introduce.
And of course, we'll start with that, and we'll see where that leads. She may lead me into asking this favor.
Maybe.
Or she may just make my life that much more complicated. I thought it was complicated when we got to Everest.
It was complicated when you accepted that mission from Lord Maddox, is when it got complicated. So now you are entangled at the higher levels of nobility in the council.
No. It got complicated when I punched that little snot-nosed brat for taking liberties where he had none.
True, but in your case, in that situation, I probably would have done the same thing. So he was getting a mark on his face no matter what.
Lady Makia got interested in me then, and then it has continued since then.
She hasn't gotten to where she is today by not seizing opportunities when they're unfortunately presented to her.
And neither have we.
Yes, but if the Veneers and the Machias were to tangle, there's little doubt who would come out on top.
Right, but I don't plan to actually tangle with her in a bad way.
Of course you don't, until it already happens and it's too late to do anything about it. That's the issue.
Well,
all right, well...
We'll see what happens. We'll talk in the morning.
Indeed, let's meet for breakfast. We'll discuss. I'm not saying I'm torn. On one hand, seeking an alliance with that house is one way for us to rise. It's just a matter of when you put all your eggs in one basket, etc., etc., etc. I mean, the Machias certainly aren't going anywhere that I know of.
Well, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket.
Well, okay, putting your eggs in two baskets that might go to war with each other. At some point, a choice has to be made.
Yes, and there are more baskets, but I am dealing with that, and hopefully, after the Starlight Ball, I will be able to gather my cohorts and my retinue and go do some other mission and get out of town for a while. Let things cool down, hopefully, maybe.
Perhaps. We will see. All right, my dear. It grows late. Let us sleep upon this and see if we can perhaps come up with either an alternative, or perhaps we'll both decide that this is the way to go.
All right.
I just concern myself.
I will see what she wants. I mean, as far as I know, I have nothing.
She has extended the invitation, so it's perfectly within her rights to, like you said, visit and talk with her about that at least.
Yes. Well, hey, any idea when John's going to get home?
Oh, I had a letter from him as well. He should be home. Unfortunately, not in time for the ball, but within the week. So soon.
Good.
Soon.
Good.
The trip was successful. So more contacts have been made, more manufacturing connections as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'd like to see him home.
So it was it's been too long.
I think you work too hard when he's not here.
The house needs tending.
Yes.
Will not stop.
I will leave you to I gesture to the desk.
I'm about to call it a night, I think, but a few more entries, and then we'll talk more on the morrow.
Yes.
All right. Sleep well.
Okay. I will give her a kiss on the cheek and go to my quarters, have a bath, and sleep. Because if I remember correctly, I didn't have very much sleep the last time I tried to sleep.
No, it was quite fitful, indeed.
Yeah, I think I had like 2 hours at a weird prophetic nightmare.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And then I basically request the servants to make sure I'm up in time for breakfast with my sister. But unless something else is on fire, not before then.
Indeed. Indeed. Oh, here we go. All right. Quite. Okay. Let's see. Sod, do me a favor. I put up a map on roll 20. Can you clear that thing for me?
What map do you want?
No, it's already up there. I put it the one up where it was where Everest was leaving with what's his face?
Oh yes,
Orin?
CD6. Yeah.
That one.
Let's move everyone.
Still,
over to-
it still bears the detritus from that last little
Yeah, so I'll just get rid of all those tokens.
journey. Yeah, just wipe that out. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right.
I think that didn't it?
You spend your 3 hours, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. You spend your 3 hours or 2.5 hours or whatever it is at the dry dock. Not much happening as people come in, people leave, people drink, sing, talk.
Yeah, I start.
Eat.
I kind of like, lose focus a lot because I told the story of my past to Savoy and Malma, so it's bringing back a few memories of
Indeed.
back then. So I kind of space out and lose
You
track
kind
of
of
time.
slam that first drink.
Not really.
Just to
I would
kinda-
say it's slam it. The first one for sure.
Faster than usual. Let's put it that way. Yeah, because you're right. That's bringing back a good deal. And of course they're not really pleasant. And of course talking with Everest about the academy doesn't help either.
No,
as you were given the boot. Kind of think back to when you were, the sentence was handed down, which was not pleasant at all. And that's a decade ago, but yet you still remember like it was yesterday. And the years in between, and setting up the inn, and still a couple kind of very lean years of scraping by until you managed to acquire that. And it's some wounds have been kind of reopened a little bit, just a bit. But while you're there, nothing really happens. People, come up to you in the bar, but they don't make contact with you, and they're not. No one's familiar there. So 11 rolls around. They're not doing last call yet. They'll be open for another hour, but it's starting to thin out. It's only the diehards and maybe one other crew that came in here from a late delivery and wanted to blow off some steam for a bit before they close. But nothing seems to be happening. No one's reaching out to you. No notes passed. Nothing like that.
Yeah. So I actually push it past 11 just a little bit, go to about
All right.
11:15, and then if no one comes, I'll tell the barkeep if there's anyone looking for Laureate, tell them I'll be here tomorrow night.
All right. How many drinks do you have during those 3 hours?
I only say 2. I think
Okay.
after the first one, she's not really much of a heavy drinker though, so
Right.
she needs to.
So you just kind of nurse that next one for a couple hours. Does not really win you any favors with the bartender, but oh well. He kind of gives a half shrug, but it's like, I'll pass on the
He
message.
knows I'm here occasionally, at least I'm a semi-regular.
Yeah, he does. All right, but then a lot of people come in and say people are meeting with or people are looking for me, and so it's like, But he's like, okay, so you pay,
and I give him like an extra copper to kind of just as a thanks. So
ooh, a copper.
yeah,
Oh,
wow.
yeah, can advance my retirement. Gosh, that's exactly what he says to you.
And so, sorry.
I was worried about when I retired from the bar.
Sorry,
okay.
Money's tight right now.
Yeah, all around, friend, all around. I'll let whoever's gonna come for you. I'll let them know you'll be here.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're gonna head back.
Yep. Start heading back.
All right. You walk out and look around. There's a couple people kind of loitering on the outside, but no one really familiar. They start heading up the street back towards the mercer's quarters where the Veneer household is. You pass not one, but 2 houses down when there's a cough from the alleyway to your left.
All right, I'll just pause a moment and see if he coughs again out of interest. If not, I'll probably head there anyway. I just want to see if he's trying to intentionally get my attention.
So you like you're right in the street. You stop to kind of look over there.
Yeah, just have a little look, just to.
Well, it's very dark in this because the dry dock's on the edge of the docks. It's also on the edge of a not great part of town, so street lighting is not really a big thing here. So you can't really see, but you definitely heard the cough. You didn't make a roll. It was like one of those that's intended to get attention. So the question is, A, is it your attention, and is it good or bad? That's the question.
So I'll just wait here, and I want to see if he coughs again.
Well, you can't really tell the gender of the cougher. Okay.
Yeah.
But they do, however, again. Twice.
All right. So then I head in.
Okay. How far? And are you creating some kind of light to see, because it's really dark here?
I'd assume I have some kind of basic arcane ability to generate light on my staff. But,
sure, why not? I think that's like a cantripy kind of thing. I can't see why that wouldn't be an item. Yeah.
It wouldn't be as bright as, say, like in Dungeons and Dragons. It'd be quite mild.
No,
light.
yeah, you get 20 feet out, maybe a dim glow, but enough to see by, certainly.
Yeah.
It's like a glow stick radiance off the tip of your staff. Sure, that's fine. All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, Coven guy, welcome.
So do you want to drop me on the map somewhere, or if we're using?
I'm not sure we need to yet. Let's see how this goes.
Sure.
So we're not there yet. And besides, who said this was for you?
True.
Anywho, so yeah, and it looks like there's someone huddled or slumped on the ground a few feet away, and they might have been the cougher, but they're not doing it now.
So I'll just head over to this person and just see if they respond to me once I get within 5 feet.
What are you like hailing them, poking them?
I'm gonna poke them with the stick.
Okay, they fall over, and it turns out it's like a pile of garbage with a tattered cloak covering it. And then you hear a sigh from a few boxes down, like, you've got to be more careful when you do this stuff. It's actually a woman's voice, not a man's. If I'd wanted to kidnap you or even just kill you here, it would have been very easy to do so. Come on, let's walk. And you haven't met this person before. It's just like you haven't met the same person twice. So do you go? They turn without waiting for you to reply and start walking deeper into the alley. Do you follow or what?
I start to follow and I say,
okay.
Another one. Do you have a name this time?
Not for you. Not yet. It was hard enough getting over here in time before you left, because you don't let us know when you want to meet in a timely fashion. And I certainly didn't want to have him come back tomorrow.
Proper way to get communication with you. All I've been told is to wait at the tavern there. So perhaps that's a fault on you to.
She grunts, or our runners. They certainly seem to take their sweet time. All right, fair enough. But let's keep moving. It's best to. So the walls have ears, and we don't have any real. And she looks around. Really private place to talk.
We'll find the most private that you know of in this area, and we'll start talking.
Pick an alley. Anyways, yeah, you rang.
Well, let me just say this. Grinder. Why was nothing done? I was told that something would be done with Grinder, and you did nothing. He has now started threatening my family.
I believe it was said if something could be done, it would. Grinder's not a piece of the puzzle you just pull out and expect everything else to go tottering along like it is.
Well, it's getting to the stage where people are going to start falling down dead on the streets. That's how far he's threatened it. If I wasn't there would be dead people on the streets right now.
And what does he want from you again?
That's the thing. He just wants information. and he wants it from Maddox and whoever else now.
Was it Todd? Was it Maddox's people you gave the warehouse to them, or
Yeah.
was it these people? It was Maddox's people. That's what I thought. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was going to give you this information first, but I had to give it to Grinder first, and I hand him like a little piece of paper with the warehouse address, and say, "This was what Maddox was writing about when I met him earlier, and I don't know what it means. It's just a warehouse. You can go look out for yourself, but you better do it before Grinder does."
So the chasers are going to be there at some point.
No idea. You're gonna have to deal with that with Grinder.
Okay, slow down. Did you give this information to Grinder or not?
Yes. It was
Okay.
that, or we get killed on the spot.
So this is, according to you, a potential target of opportunity for him.
Yes.
All right then. That is something actionable we might be able to move upon. Can't do all the heavy lifting, first of all. Not and remain where we are. Okay, now, not trying to
I
get you
am
into
this
trouble,
far
however.
away from walking away right now.
Well,
You wanna know why?
that's your call. But we didn't tell you to go cross the chasers and thwart whatever plan they had with Gelspar. That was all you and Maddox.
You put me on the
So-
job with the airship and helping see what Kendrick was doing, and this
Right.
is all part of that.
Okay. Yeah. Again, as I said, it wasn't our plan for you to cross the chasers. No problem. Yeah, they're a bunch of thugs, but they're murderous, greedy, well-connected thugs, as we found out. So I mean,
So you're saying now they
having
don't work for
someone's-
you because they claim
No.
that they actually claimed to me, at least Grinder did, that we had a similar. What would you say? A similar.
arrangement.
Hmm.
But who do you think I work for?
That's the thing. I don't know, and that's now a reason why I'm this far away from going away. Because if you don't tell me, at least give me some kind of idea of who you work for, I've now got people who are much more reliable and have actually contacted me directly, face to face.
What,
They're
the
willing to
chasers?
help me.
From what I've heard, they're the only ones who've contacted you face to face. That and Maddox.
Kendrick, and now Admiral Rhea. Yes, that Admiral Rhea.
Ooh, wow. If you're so tight with the Admiral, why don't you go have her take care of your little chaser problem?
That's what I'm about to do if you don't help. I'm giving you. This is me giving a bone to you because of what you did with the bomb. I still believe that you might have some good in you, and you're doing this for Adriel.
There are many things that are being done in the name of Adriel. Some are good, some are not. This, however, is very helpful, to be sure. I will take it up the chain as a top priority, because if we can weaken the chasers, that would be an excellent thing for other elements of Adriel to advance. Now, bear in mind, by the way, you and your group sticking their neck out to thwart them was a good thing. Unfortunately, of course, there's always blowback on a particular job like that. It comes with the territory. So maybe, like I said, you already found out. She actually paused for a second, like, wait a minute. Why did Admiral Rhea take an interest in you?
That's another thing. Grinder. Apparently, there's someone, a foreigner, who is. We don't know if it's actually working for Grinder or perhaps for the same people that Grinder's working for. This person is going around murdering people right now throughout Adriel. We actually found one of the murder sites. Wasn't pretty.
This person who? You got a name? You have a description? You have anything other than a person? That's kind of a loose
Ixis,
interpretation.
She's foreign. She's got white hair, similar to one of my party members, who was actually trying to hunt her down. And it seems that Grinder and this woman are in the same part of the same group now, or something. I don't fully understand, but.
And your
This is a
evidence
problem.
that she's going around killing people is what exactly? You saw this,
I-
perhaps?
I found one of the murder sites, and I tend to believe my allies, you know?
but you found a murder site. Okay, what I'm asking you is what connected that murder site with ISIS? People die in Gelspar and Adriel all the time.
Not entire
Why did you think it was
families.
connected to her? Well, okay. Where and do you remember where the site was?
Yeah, it was in Gelspar.
Okay, again, a little bit more.
No, I can't remember the
Detail.
exact directions, but I try and
Yeah,
give her
it's been a few days. You're like, and you, Laureate, also know you've been in Gelspar to know that it's constantly changing as well. So it's possible that site may not even exist anymore. So, but you know, it was like kind of close to the Hacksaw Bridge, like a block or two up and like 2 blocks in-ish, roughly. But even blocks at Gelspar don't mean much. So you like look, it was in this area, and you actually make me a focus roll. See if you can get this. If you can get this maybe done.
Nope.
Not so much. Yeah, it's not really something you've A, wanted to think about all that much, and B, enough time has gone by where your remembrance of that actual place was a little fuzzy. Yeah. So, but you try to describe it as best you can. So you're like, it was in this area, and she shrugs like, well, that doesn't mean much when Gelspar is concerned, but we'll take a look. But my point is, you know, that's not something we can really take to the order and say, oh, this person, you only have not even hearsay. You're making an assumption she killed them, or the Chasers killed them for that matter.
Well, if it's that bad that Abu Raya wants us to look into it.
Well, of course she wants to look at the Chasers. The Chasers are the preeminent criminal gang in the city. Anything she can do to weaken them would be a good thing for Adriel all around.
She
That's
didn't
just
say
common
the
sense.
case. She said about these murders, and she didn't know that those two were connected.
Well, we don't know those 2 murders are connected. All I can tell you, because you're so insistent, is I work for an element of a different element of the council. And it has to make its moves
Well, you're
very,
gonna have to
very
do better
carefully.
than that to persuade me next time. So, I'm gonna leave you with this. These are my demands. I want to meet with someone actually higher up than you, that is actually part of the group. So I have a general idea of who you are. If not, I will walk, and I'll just stay with Kendrick. And he's already given me enough to trust him. And I've been as forthcoming as I have with anyone, with you. And I just feel like I'm being used by you now. You've given me nothing. Well, that's not precise. You've given me one thing, and that was the bomb. You at least were able to follow through with that.
Indeed. And now you've given us something actionable as well. So we're even. However, this does prove, assuming this plays out as we hope it will, then that may be the key that you have been looking for to get someone with more import to meet with you. I will see what I can do.
That's one of my demands. The other demand is I want to know where Grinder is, where he's located.
And you think we would know this why?
I have a feeling you do. Or at least know someone who does. Because
Fair.
if we can find Grinder, then we may find this woman.
If you're looking for Grinder, the best person you could go and ask is Hobbs. It's Hob, not Hobbs. Hob.
Wait, Hobbs?
Hob, yeah.
What does he know?
Hob knows pretty much all the movers and shakers in Adriel, especially the underworld. That's kind of his thing. Trust me, that whole shtick about him being like the bumbling small-time merchant is not even close. Getting the information out of him, however, there's always a cost. Hob never gives anything away for free. But honestly, if you really want him, look, we've been trying to track Grinder ever since he rose to power. It's not easy. So I can put our resources into play. The only problem is every time we try to do that, it risks coming back on us. You contact Hob, however, and perhaps we can actually pool that information, assuming you can get anything out of him worthwhile, and actually come up with a real method to try and get Grinder. So, there you go. Believe me, if I had him, I'd hand him over to you on a silver platter. Because if you guys manage to remove him, that's all good for us. but he's a slippery one. Any other requests you'd like to put forward?
I would ask for something else, but I don't think you'd be willing to do it. That would be to get some protection for my inn, where my family is, but that would be too public for you.
Well, it depends on what kind of protection you're talking about. Someone to watch it? Sure. Armed guards? Not so much.
Someone to watch it at least. I want to know if the chasers try anything else. I need to know.
We could do it for...
Even just for a short time.
Let's say the next week or so and see. When you said, by the way, Saad, just for narrative's sake, when you said threatened, is that all you said, or did you go into detail about what happened at your inn?
I said that there was a high chance, based on this threat, that there would be bodies on the floor, and there nearly were.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's enough. So she asked, so you think they'll strike there?
They already have struck there, and I don't want to do it again. If I'm not there, I can't help them.
Right. What exactly what happened?
They poisoned the food.
Ooh, well, that's never pleasant. Was it fatal?
I didn't let it get that far. And besides,
Okay.
Does it matter?
Well, I mean, there's a difference between making someone throw up and killing them. Yeah, it kind of matters, but even so, it's
Do you
going to
think
depress
the chasers are
business
going to
for your
just
inn.
only poison them and make them throw up?
It depends on what kind of warning they want to send. I mean, extortion's extortion, murder's murder.
And the
if
chasers
they can
aren't-
force you to work with them.
And based on your knowledge of the chasers, pretty much everyone's knowledge of the chasers, you think they're not going to just go to murder eventually?
Eventually is the key. If there's profit or information or some sort of bonus for them to get out of it, they will try to coerce you to come over to them. Only after that doesn't work will they stoop to eliminating you entirely. However, now that they've struck the first blow there, you are probably right that escalation will follow. I will assign people to watch at least for the next week or two.
Thank you.
That is something we can do. And because if they do try to strike, and we can get a lead back on where they're operating from in that neighborhood, again, I know you may not like our methods, Laureate, but we have the same goals in mind. We want to eliminate this pox on the streets of not only Gelspar, but other neighborhoods too. If the chasers are going outside of Gelspar, which still is their headquarters, that bodes ill for everybody. If they're coming into a, shall we say, more middle-class establishment, a place like yours, then they are seeking to expand their reach, and that is something we cannot abide by. Does that make sense?
I guess it does, but I disagree with some of that, but we won't get into politics like that in this meeting.
It's, you're within your rights. You have your method of doing things and we have ours. That's the best I could do, because at a certain point my hands are tied as well.
I know. So that's why I'm giving you this ultimatum, these demands. And then if they're not met, then I'm walking. It's simple as that.
Well, I'll phrase your requests as such. However, I will also state the consequences if you do not get what you wish. I, of course, cannot guarantee anything, but again, the slip of paper, this should go a long way towards fixing that. We'll check out this warehouse, and I'll be in touch.
As a sign of good faith, I'll give you another bit of information. Admiral Rhea is going to give me access to the academy, to the library specifically.
She raises an eyebrow at that. Rhea is.
Yes.
And what do the academics at the academy think of that?
I have no idea. This only just happened. Speaking of which, that's a good question. Were you the one that organized the arrest of us?
Why would we do that and risk exposure? That doesn't make it.
That answers my question.
That would not serve our purpose.
Well, that just answers my question. I thank you.
And didn't you say that Chaser himself had the warrant sworn out for you?
Well, there wasn't really. We weren't specifically told who put the
Well, actually,
warrant
Rhea
out
said
for us.
technically he did, as a citizen of because she was exasperated by having to follow through with it. But it also proves that she was able to talk to you guys privately, so it actually served her purpose. But remember, it was for the possession of stolen goods, which was the Chaser ship.
I thought it was.
Ironically.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. That's all.
Yeah, so it was like, I can't believe I have to do this, but it two birds, one stone, etc., etc., etc. Yeah.
But the murders that have been happening have caused that much of a problem for Rhea that she has to deal with it personally, and she's asked for my help. And we need to do research, so it needs us to go into the academy.
Right.
As you know, the academy has a lot of information on people of the arcane persuasion and also various mystical abilities.
Assuming the academy will let you see that, but hey, give it a shot. Interesting. So this person that you claim is behind the murders, is a alleged murderer. Wait, hold on. It's like, why do you need to go to the academy to find them? Or find
It's
out
more about
them?
research if the academy has any information on this person's abilities.
Which are?
I don't fully understand it myself, but it's got something to do with stealing the energy of another being and transferring it to itself.
So a variant of spiritualism.
Something like that. I would rather be very specific with my wording, being don't want to go too far off the deep end. That's what I was able to understand from what my ally told me.
Well, some would say that happened 10 years ago. Not me, of course.
But apparently it might have something to do with extending your lifespan and gaining more power. And they're talking like arcane ability power, which if you have someone with that much power going around, that can cause a lot of trouble for everyone.
Indeed. But okay, I mean, look, you
Especially
were
if
of
they're
the
an
academy.
outsider.
Exactly. Well, arcane abilities do not just exist here. There's more things in heaven and on earth, ratio than I dreamt of in your philosophy. Who knows what other systems have developed outside of ours? But this certainly does sound dangerous, to say the least.
That's why I'm very serious right now about this.
Well, tread carefully with your dealings with the Academy, of course. Whether they even allow you or anyone to see what they might have upon this information, this what would seem to me to be a forbidden form of arcane exploration, may prove hard to get to. Let's put it that way. But by all means, give it a shot. I mean, with the order behind you, you may have more luck than just trying to walk in and see it yourself. All right. Anything else?
Finally, we've been, or at least the Veneers were invited to the Starlight Gala. And I may be
that should be
attending,
interesting.
So,
oh, good.
We will see.
All right.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to be there or not, but
all right. Yes, the
I'll
whole
let you know.
city
So
is a Twitter
times where
about
I'll be
it.
in contact.
Right, and that's in, let's see, 3 nights from tonight, as a matter of fact. Yeah, believe me, it's a lot
So
of
if you need
people's
a
lips.
spot, if you need a way of our, what would you call them, Patreon, there to contact me, that would be a good spot. Very inconspicuous among a gala.
The whole hide in plain sight aspect of it?
Correct.
Possibly. certainly there'll be enough pomp and circumstance where things could be arranged if necessary. We'll keep that in mind. No doubt the chasers will move on that warehouse probably before then. So if things play out the way I think they will, it's very likely. Try to make sure you're able to stop by the inn the dry dock every night from here on up until the ball. If there's a message there, you'll get it with further instructions.
Yeah, just leave it with the bartender for me. He'll understand. And I'll leave. Do you want me to leave responses there?
No, we'll direct you as to if we're going to set up a meeting, we'll direct you as to where to go.
If only you organized this at the start when we first made contact. I mean, much easier.
Well, just as you weren't sure whether you could trust us, the same went for you as well. It takes time to build up a network like this. It can't happen haphazardly or without a good deal of abundance of caution. I mean, for all we knew, you may have been thrown in with the chasers after this. After all, they've certainly been hanging around your doorstep enough. At some point, the pressure may have gotten to you. It is possible you may have been trying to sell us out at this point. So, not that I believe you are. Point is, you've had enough interactions with them that suspicion could fall upon you if you weren't careful. That's all I'm saying. Again, we do not believe that has happened. You certainly have been very indignant about their encroachment upon you and your own. So we're not concerned about it. But again, trust is built. It is not automatically given. And I know that goes both ways.
Well, all I say is I have a record of where I stand, and it's been like that since my time in the academy, and it hasn't changed one bit.
Well, while you stand upon those morals and your worldview, the world has changed in the past decade, Laureate. So some flexibility may behoove you in the future. I'm just saying.
I have to agree to disagree about that.
Very well. All right. Well, as you are not my only meeting of the evening, I'll bid farewell. But before I go, my name is Sally, and that's S-A-L-I, in case you want to take that down. So I expect I'll be seeing you again. I don't know if it's going to be soon or not.
Well, finally, someone courteous enough, and I put out my hand to see if she'll shake it.
Sure. She's wearing gloves, but she does.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Pleasure.
You've been very helpful, Laureate, and it is my hope that we continue this partnership in the future. I understand your frustration. And she smiles like, I felt the very same way when I was brought onto this. And it took longer than I care to think about to get where I am in the organization. So all I would ask for is a bit of patience. I'm aware.
Anyway, I'll leave you to it.
But it's why we're effective when other organizations that are more public cannot be. So yeah, indeed, have a safe trip home. And we will be in touch.
Farewell.
All right. And as you've been walking while you've been having this conversation, and as you come back, you find out she's brought you back around, and you weren't really paying attention to where you were going. She brought you back around to the street where you were going to head out and back to the neighborhood.
All right, so I'll just head back to the Veneer residence and
all right,
clean up, go to bed.
All right, one more insight roll for me.
Nope.
All right. Your trip back is uneventful.
I'm telling you, I'm cursed. I'm cursed in actual game. If we're playing something that's not like my main campaign, I just roll like perfectly, but every time I'm doing a proper campaign, my rolls are terrible.
Exactly. All right, that was yours. So I take it nothing you're doing afterwards. Pretty much heading to bed.
Yep.
Okay. And Savoy, just to check, you were doing the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, no, I literally, unless someone is on fire,
not staring at anyone directly when saying that.
Yes, but I know we haven't gotten to Everest yet, and I don't know about his new flamey whatever it is because we still haven't heard or seen it. But
he's just taking a bath and the good news is he can reheat his water now fairly easily. So that's
Well,
not a
it's true. It's true, and I'm believing it'll be fine. But that was
Exactly.
actually cool to see Laureate actually get really irritated. Usually it's Savoy.
See, it's not just you. Exactly. All right.
Laureate has had enough.
Yep.
We are all
I
reaching
think
that
she
level.
had I think she has enough of a reason to have some demands of her own.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure, absolutely.
She's been jerked around quite a bit.
Indeed.
And going after family, then like that's the last straw, just about.
Yeah, you don't go after family. Not in this game. that appears to be it.
Indeed. All right, Everest, good sir. You open your eyes. Right? So bath, meal. By that time, you're pretty much like barely able to stay awake. And you stumble into bed, fall asleep. You wake up, open your eyes, and you're no longer in your bed. You are back in the room where you woke up after you were captured by the chasers, and you are lashed to the chair. But this time, one big difference is that your hands are free. I mean, your wrist and strapped across, but your hands are not bound like they were when you were truly captured. Your hands are loose, but you're also alone. What do you wish to do?
I think he'd survey his surroundings at first, and then attempt to I just need a bit more context there, John. Like with how the hands they're lashed to his sides?
So the time you were captured, it was like your forearms were tied to the chair, and you had a strap going around your chest and your upper body, and your hands had, like I said, those things where you really couldn't move them. Well, your hands are now free. They're like this. You could move your hands, you could cast, etc., etc. That's how it is.
I'm just trying to think, is there a way that he could... I'm literally trying to do it in my chair right now, trying to point a finger up and kind of just burn the ropes or the strap.
I don't think you have enough control over that to... I mean, you can cast the spell. The key is how much singeing am I going to take before, and it's actually leather straps too, so you have to burn through that, which is going to be a little harder. How much singeing are you going to take before the strap goes? And are you willing to do that? Because it's going to be tricky. Let's put it that way. It can be done, but it's going to be a little difficult. Yeah. So, how do you want to proceed?
Well, I think first he would. I think he wouldn't attempt to do that first.
Okay.
I think he'd survey his surroundings and then he'd call out his.
Hello?
Okay, well, the room is deserted. There's no one here. The door in front of you is closed. And when you call out, your voice echoes around the empty room, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. In which case, then he would attempt to burn through the ropes.
Okay. So let's see. What spell are you going to use?
I think he would end up using... Let me just take a quick look at this one.
Mm-hmm. I don't actually have to look at your character sheet for once.
That one wouldn't really work. But I mean, contextually, it probably would. Would be disintegrate.
Ooh. Yeah. Can you?
I mean,
do you have the spell entered into the system? Can you post that up? Can I take a look at it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't really work in the actual.
We're structuring it anyways. Yeah.
It's a passive, and what it does is at the start of each of my turns, a foe would suffer a stack of vulnerability for each stack of burning they would have. But I mean, the way I'm picturing this is with disintegrate.
Well, that makes sense. You're trying to weaken it anyways. So yeah, I mean, technically it's a foe. I'll let you kind of massage this, that if you want to, activate it on the strap itself, so it would take more damage. That makes perfect sense to me. All right, but it doesn't break. But you know the magic's working. Let's put it that way. It's the best way to put it, because of course it needs a catalyst to actually really activate. It's not like the D&D spell disintegrate where it's just going to fall apart. But once you start, you know what I mean. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's in effect. And what next?
And at that point, he would, I think he would go ahead and cast like a Mana Echoes, in which case it would be like a lance through the
aimed at the strap, try to cut it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Actually, I'm going to require a cap roll on this one, even though it's a stationary target, because of the difficulty of actually getting the spell to do what you kind of want it to do. So go ahead and roll for me.
What am I rolling? Am I rolling Mana Echoes itself? Because that one's an auto hit.
That's true. That's a good point. I think it's just kind of to get the spell to do what you want. So you basically want to get under your accuracy. That's all you really need. It's a cap check, and you just need to make your accuracy your minimum to make it do what you want. Because this is a specialized use of this spell. It's not just a simple point and shoot kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever your accuracy is, just get under that, and you're good to go.
Let's see. So I'll roll a d20.
Mm-hmm.
And what
pretty
is
sure
my
your accuracy is higher than 11, right?
11. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 13 or something like that. I just have to see.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Accuracy is 13. Yeah.
All right. Good.
So.
Poor cat. Yeah. So it goes off and blasts the strap into smithereens, or whatever you want to call it. Yep. So you have now an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In which case he would take since he's got one arm free, he would just go ahead and take it and just unfasten or rip off the other strap.
Right. Yeah. I assume you did like the forearm strap, so you could go unbuckle the other one, and then it's pretty much simple. Yeah. Pretty much. All right.
Yeah.
So you've legs were bound, ankles, knees, the whole shebang. As you're throwing off the last strap, the door to the chamber bursts open, and guess who's standing there? Of course, it's Ixis again. She looks at you with that maddening smile of hers and says, "Oh, you are free, but you look cold. Let me help you." Yeah, before you can react, just this pretty much wall of fire comes blazing at you. And that's when you wake up in your bed with a feeling of kind of still being immolated all around you. It's kind of like waking up with a bit of a scream. And it takes a few seconds before you realize that's where you are. It was just a nightmare. And that's how your night passes.
Gotta love those PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
it. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the rest of your sleep, although fitful, is uninterrupted by that kind of dream. So morning comes for everyone. Again, yeah, everyone went to bed. Morning comes. We're all good. So people have business, I think, before they start splitting up the party, if I'm not mistaken. And were there plans all to meet before you guys start heading out to your various places?
I'm sure we have breakfast together. Yeah, it's very cool.
We pretty much always have breakfast. I mean,
right. Were you meeting with your sister ahead of that, or is the group sitting in on that, or how's that working?
You know what? They know I'm gonna go, so.
Well, they didn't know you were invited by her, though.
Well, I didn't know either at the time. So
I know. New information has come to light since you last talked to them.
I'd say we'd be in like the public
the
area for breakfast, and then they may meet beforehand in a private setting before joining us, type of thing.
Yep. We'll see how much Shannon's thought on this, and if I have like a servant waiting saying, yeah, go see your sister.
Indeed. All right. So you all troop into the dining area, the dining hall, which is set for breakfast, and Mama's there, and she's already digging in, etc., because that's when she's not here. That's what she does most of the time. And your sister waves everyone in and greets them and says, "Hope all your rest was pleasant this evening, or yesterday evening. Sorry." So, any topics of conversation to be broached while breakfast is being had? Don't everyone leap in and speak at once, by the way.
Well, I give Shannon a look of like, I haven't
She says,
changed my mind.
Yeah, she kind of looks like I did not come up with anything in the night either, so I suppose you'll be progressing as we discussed.
Well, we'll see what Lady Makia wants of me first. Oh, by the way, she's invited me to her house. I say very casually to the
Yeah,
rest
she
of
drops that. Yeah. Like,
them.
yes. Indeed.
I will have to go alone because I'm pretty sure she didn't invite either of you. So that's what I'm doing today.
Just watch yourself. The old spider has many a web in the city.
Yes. Yes, she does. I am aware of this.
Out of interest, if you could ask her if she knows the location of Grinder, just out of interest.
Well, I have not actually been summoned to Lady Makia's side privately before this. So I'm going to see what she has to say first. And if it leads into the conversation I would like to have with her about Grinder and having her help me deal with him, and I do mean deal with it in a very lethal manner, we shall see. I am not certain what business she wants with me, and
Well, the reason I say that is because my contact, who I spoke to last night, they said that Hob knows where Grinder is.
Hob.
Hob. That's the exact
The bumbling
reaction I
merchant.
had when they told me that.
He's not very bumbling. He puts on a good game. I mean, he's got Mama to do another job for him.
A yet to be named job, that is true.
And I don't really want to be in Hobbs. I don't want to owe him a favor. Not a fan of him.
I never considered him bumbling. With him working with Maddox, he's definitely more than he seems, but that surprises me. That he knows where Grinder is. The question then becomes is whose side is Hobbs on? Beyond his own.
Hobbs' side.
Yeah, well, yes, beyond his own.
Based on his interactions, I have a feeling, he's on his own side. He just wants probably lots of money. Seems to be one of those quite simplistic people.
Money and power, or just money?
I think money.
Money is easy. Well, in certain regards.
You don't think he's interested in power? Maybe
Unless it's
influence so he can make more
power,
money.
not power that we normally get. Not public power, I would say. More along the red market kind of power.
Yeah, that was the only bit of information I could get out of my contact. They're gonna try and get more, but who knows how long that'll take.
Well, all we can do is try. What are you two doing today? Are you going to see Captain Rhea?
I think we'll start with Kendricks first.
Okay.
And then we'll decide if we want to see Rhea after that.
In that case, did that note have a time that she wanted to see me? Or just she wanted to see me today?
Today.
Which meant pretty much right after breakfast, if I can read a noble right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say earlier rather than later. Yeah. You don't want to saunter around the dinner hour. That is true.
No.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. All right.
I'll take the carriage up.
Yep, we can walk. No worries.
Yeah.
That
Any
means you
other
guys have to
any other matters of import you folks need to talk about? Otherwise, we'll get you on your merry way.
Has anyone come in with information, the documents? Because I believe we were supposed to get contacted by someone, or we're supposed to get it from Rhea herself. I mean, like, I'm happy to do it either way. All the documents for the academy relate to the academy.
Well,
I'll probably just go to Rhea directly and just see if she's got them. Trying to remember if she actually said she'd bring contact or not. Anyway.
Indeed.
Do you have a reason to go see Rhea? Or, well, an official reason that would not be suspicious?
I mean, she
do I need to
knows
send-
me from the past, so perhaps some kind of catch-up meeting.
All right. So I don't need to send a note with you of some kind.
No, I know her, so in a way, so it shouldn't be too bad. Nothing should cause her any problems. So.
All right.
Good luck with your meeting.
Remind me, Everest's hair color is what?
It's white.
It is white.
But the the cloak has a hood on it, so.
I know, but I'm still thinking about making you dye your hair.
Brahms, your webcam is delayed.
Yeah, it's a little laggy. But we'll just muddle through it for tonight. And,
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll repair that for next
Something
time.
to
But
note
no worries.
for the future.
All right. All right. So
All right.
if there's nothing else, unless she wants to push here's a wig or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No,
if
I'm actually thinking more along the lines of for the party. When I can get him hidden out so that he doesn't look exactly like himself.
Well, you guys can have that conversation later. There's still time. So
Yeah, I'll get the servants ready for that. They can just sort of ambush him. Actually, no, I wouldn't do that.
that's probably not a good idea.
Just you'll wake up with like a completely different hairdo.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Okay, let's see here. Who's gonna get there first? You're both leaving, etc., etc. Actually, you're both probably gonna reach. Well, let's see. You guys are going to see Kendrick. Actually, you're both going to the. Well, you're going to the span, but you're going to hers. You guys will probably get the Kendricks first.
Right.
Yeah, let's deal with Laureate and Everest at the Maddox residence. That is where you're going first, correct? I believe you said. Then probably the military order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, although except, how are you? Are you guys walking there?
Yep.
Oh, if you're walking there, then
Yep.
actually we're going to go to Jennifer because Savoy in the carriage will definitely get to.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she'll get there first. All right. Yes, you ascend to what is like the highest pinnacle of the quarter, the nobles' quarter. I mean,
And I am dressed, of course, appropriately for visiting rich nobles.
Yep, as rich as a one in the merchant clan can be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think more formal.
I mean, yeah, well, that too. But there's a certain, certain etiquette and yada yada yada. Yeah, you are dressed appropriately for the occasion because you, of course, know how to do that.
I took some care.
Yes. Yeah, and you and your sister agreed pretty much. Let's roll the dice and see what happens.
Yeah. I was just like, I can't think of anything else. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's like I got nothing.
But
So other than not, but screw it. Let's see what happens.
I mean, we may want something else, and makes me really go, okay, maybe I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
That
we'll
depends.
see.
Yeah. So you come to literally, and when I say palatial, I mean palatial. The palatial grounds of the Macchia house, which is ginormous. Okay, I mean it overlooks the entire city. The view is actually even more spectacular than the wingspan because she's higher up. As often the elevation equals power, and the Macchias are at the pinnacle of what Adriel is and the movers and shakers. The carriage is admitted to the grounds through the main gate. You are come up to the house, which is like not quite a castle, but damn close. Let's put it that way. I mean, it would dwarf your place. You guys have not inconsequential grounds. You don't. The Vanir estate is not small. This one makes you
Right.
guys look like a shack out in the woods.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm well
Yeah.
aware. Our families are merchants. We are. I mean,
Yeah. but not nobles, right?
We're not nobles.
You can't help but notice the difference in the cultural strata, shall we say. Yeah. All right. A footman opens the door. You alight. He says, welcome, Lady Veneer. Lady Maki is expecting you.
Thank you.
If you'll follow me, please. And leads you into this just opulently grand foyer, just freaking high hall, marble floors, you know. But very tastefully done. It's not ornate. It's not, gaudy. It's very tasteful, almost restrained in its use of materials, and whispers power quite insistently, but not, doesn't scream it.
It doesn't. She doesn't need to gild the lily.
Exactly, that is correct. And he takes you to a side room off the main foyer, where, once again, Lady Makia is waiting to receive you. And he knocks, opens the door. Lady Savoy Veneer, mistress. Ah, good. Bring her. Come, child, come, sit. It has been a while since we had the chance to speak. I assume you do as she bids, right?
Yeah, of course. I come in, I sit down. I was just trying to think. The last time we spoke was lunch.
Yeah, it was the lunch where you spun your little skyworm tail.
No, that was like, what, a week ago?
Ish, yeah. You went on that adventure and ran around and this, that. Yeah, I mean, it's been, a while.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, then how are you?
Well, life has been very interesting.
Really?
Yes. But I wouldn't want to bore you with that. You said we have business. I would dearly love to know it.
My dear, I am stuck here in this house doing the business of the council. I do not get a chance to go outside very much. If you are having adventures that I would not partake in, then certainly you could recount them for me.
Oh,
Human and old lady, please.
Of course. Well, I suppose I could tell you about some of the more interesting, good adventures. Not necessarily, bore you with the problems I'm having too, but...
Problems? I was under the impression the Veneer family did not have any problems. Your business is successful, varied, family is well.
Let me tell you about us retrieving some... What was the steel called?
The Arlen steel?
Some Arlen steel.
Oh, the Arlen steel. Please do tell.
And I will recount the tale of airship battles and finding this land and psychic animals, and basically I will tell her the truth because I'm pretty sure she already knows half of this shit anyway.
Well, it makes a hell of a story, first of all.
Yes. Also,
the big killer murder bear there, and Malma's heroic stand, all that stuff. Yes. Yeah.
And the reviving the baby bears and the herd creatures that were able to just sort of disarm you with the look, kind of thing, and then finding another ship.
And actually, she actually does not appear. She's interested. She actually listens to your story. That is fascinating. When you are through, but she says you found this ribbon in a tree. This ribbon of steel, this Arlen steel.
And I had heard. We have books at home where it was talking about that the steel is actually secreted from this creature that is extremely tall. And we thought we were going to have to combat some creature that was almost as tall as the ceiling in your foyer. Because
I'm aware of how one usually acquires Arlen steel, and that is not the method.
No, it's not. And I'm just wondering if someone already killed the creature and was putting it safely somewhere, or perhaps the legend wasn't actually even true. I don't know. I mean, if you wanted to hide Arlen steel, saying that it was secreted by a ginormous, gigantic creature could keep others from looking for it.
Well, it's not legend, my dear. Gravehide Warbeast certainly does exist. However, given what you described, the location of this particular place doesn't make sense for one of those creatures to be there. You see, the Warbeast usually is attracted to death and a recent battle site,
Oh.
for they exist by ingesting the bodies of the dead and their ecology, their internals, so to speak. Then strip out the armor and things of that nature, and something inside them transforms that into the iron steel that is so prized among our weaponsmiths and armorers.
We didn't go deeply into the island. There could have been a battlefield on the other side.
But it is an island, and any battle would have. Well, I don't know. I'm not familiar with this land you mentioned. Is it far from the city?
Yes, it's very far. However, I suspect I could get Mama to help us go back there if I really wanted to. My retinue is very, very talented. They're very good.
Well, judging by the struggles you had to get that particular piece of steel, I would say so. That seems to be quite a dangerous little encounter there, but you persevered, and good for you.
Yes.
But and why were you sent on this mission? You don't seem to be the exploring, bear fighting, deer hunting, steel grabbing type. Pardon my impertinence, dear. I'm a little confused.
I must admit, ever since you had me do that errand for you earlier, I have quite rather the taste of doing things that are not necessarily in the city. My life has been good and this is new. This is different. It's just there are things happening in the city that are difficult.
That is the second time you've brought up either a problem or difficulty, my child. I do have business to discuss with you, but I'm most concerned that it seems your attention is being distracted by this problem you have. Might I be able to assist you in this matter?
Oh, I have no doubt that you would, but it would be so. I wouldn't want you to sully your. It's the Chasers. There is a particular man who has risen to power within the Chasers, named Grinder, and he has decided that he dislikes many. How do I put this?
Your simplest is often I find the best way, my child. So
He has
do not
decided
mince
that,
words.
Yes, well, since he sent the Chasers after us in the original quest dealing with Skyworm, and we bested them so handily and took his ship.
Indeed.
He has an axe to grind with us, as you might say. And then he kidnapped Everest, who then escaped his hold and thus has made him look bad. And he seems to have a hold over Laureate, and he is, at this point, endangering families. Laureate's family, he's threatened my family. I have much. This man is a thug, and he will always say that we are in his debt. And now he has decided he will threaten our families, and I can't abide by it. So it does distract me.
Indeed. And you said, did you one of your party, the white-haired one, he was actually captured by them? You said he escaped their hold as if they seized him?
Yes.
Oh dear.
There was a fire in one part of the city. I wasn't quite there at the time. I was dealing with the Arlen Steel. So I don't know everything, but I do know they had captured him, and I do know he got free. And I do know, because of this, Grinder's reputation is suffering. He attacked Laureate's family, poisoning innocent people, and his way for us to be out of his debt is that we hand Everest over to him. But he is a thug, and I know that would not be the end of it. Also, I find Everest, while he's an inconvenient man, he is quite useful to me, and I would like to keep him. Thank you.
Well, of course.
But I am
Can
distracted by
often
the
be useful.
Yes,
Well.
I thought perhaps to actually ask you for help, but you have summoned me for business, and I would like to do business for you, but
Well, I'm not sure. A bunch of street thugs running around Gelspa is not really. I must admit, I'm flattered by your thought that there's something I could do
he
about
claims
them,
to have
but
contacts in your household. Perhaps your nephew.
contacts in my house, the house of Makia. Cross yourself up.
He did say that
Really?
he does have contacts there. He did say that there was no place he could not reach. And I don't believe him, of course. You know, the closest thing I could think is he met up with your nephew drinking someplace. But he quoted things between you and I that we had a meeting of.
Well, my nephew can be somewhat loose-lipped, especially when the drink is involved. I shall have to caution him. Still, if this chaser person, the grinder, that's what
Yes.
they call themselves. He goes around with this business. It's a sordid bit of affairs indeed.
Yes. Well, I certainly didn't believe him when he said that he had contacts in your household. Such thing would be unthinkable.
Well, to say I would be surprised would be putting it mildly, my dear. However, that does not mean it is not possible. The Makia, I mean, not at my family level, of course, but the Makias employ so many.
Yes.
Someone is always seeking advantage. It would not be unheard of for them to try to, whether coercion, bribery, or some other way.
Well, he keeps threatening water supplies, food supplies. Mentioned that every family needs food and water delivered to them, and he can get to any family that way.
I see. Well, he would find a most rude reception should he try that with any of us. I will have to think upon that matter. I will also have to have a talk with my nephew in case untoward conversations are being had. But that is nothing you need to concern yourself with, my dear.
Of course. I will not be distracted doing your duty, doing your business.
Indeed. Yes, as to that. And of course, I realize this is practically last minute, so I do apologize for the urgency, but it has come to my attention that we are, of course, for the Starlight Commons Gala, we are in need of furniture.
Oh.
For people to sit and dine and, that sort of thing. And of course, when I put my mind to who do I know who I could trust to execute the quality, of course, that the nobles will require in this time frame, I, of course, thought of your family. Would certainly, so we are seeking to commission you and your woodworkers, your craftsmen, of course, to create us. That's a rather large order, unfortunately, and of course, timing is of the essence. So, but yes, it's a matter of business.
Yes, of course. As I think back, oh God, what's in the warehouse? I don't know. I don't know what's in the warehouse.
We're looking for something with a bit more customized touch as well. I would like to at least sit down, hopefully this afternoon, with you and your sister to go through some design ideas. As I said, I understand timing, of course, is critical since the ball is in literally 2 days. But we're looking for something a little less, shall we say, off the rack, I think the term is. Something a little more flair. So your craftsmen may have to be working a little bit more extensively than they might on a usual order.
Of course.
But I'm sure the Veneer family can help the council in our time of need, correct?
Oh, of course. My sister, of course, does that part of the business, but I can certainly set up the meeting between. I'm forgive me, Lady Makia, but It is my sister you want to be talking about this.
It will be in time, but I also wanted to see you. I want to see how you were doing, how things were going for you. Let me know of this thorny little chaser problem you have. Well, I
Yes.
don't like my friends to be vexed by these outside influences. That when they vex you, they vex me, and that's something that cannot happen. It is not good for anyone. It's not good for the city, my dear. So I am good that it is good that you came to me with this issue. I wish to see if I can. I'm not sure exactly what I can do. I need to find out more information first. But this is a problem for all of us, not just one merchant family.
No, they
These
certainly are
chasers have been growing more
well-organized.
bold. Well, I don't know about that, but certainly they've been growing bolder. Their activities against Gelspa were bad enough. But the idea that they can now think to put themselves on an equal footing to be threatening merchant clans, well, what's next? They're going to come and threaten the nobles? That would be unheard of.
Well, I would certainly hope so. But this man, you've heard of small men with big egos?
I find many men I encounter fit that definition, my child.
Well, he certainly emulates it.
Well, the key with those type is exactly what they can bring to bear if you push them far enough. But that is not something for today to worry about, certainly. And
I'm afraid that he may target the Starlight Ball.
Well, that would be quite foolish, since the nobles and their own private security retinues would be there. If there's I can't think of a sure way for him to earn the enmity of the entire council to come crashing down on them, as well as the order. Certainly it would be nothing public. It would be something more insidious, but even then I would find it hard to believe they would choose such a public target unless they really, well, wanted to cut their own throats. Shall we be honest? It would all it would earn them is a swift death. But it is something I will pass along as a slender possibility. I would say no more than that.
Yes, of course.
Do tell me, have you seen the good Lord Maddox recently?
I have. It was my adventure off to dealing with the Arlen Steel was actually at his request to pay off a debt he had to someone else.
Really?
Yes. He is
interesting. Most
has
interesting.
welcomed me into his home a couple of times now. Of course, the last time I left his home, I got arrested, but that was...
Yes. That grinder. Of course.
That grinder.
I'd nearly forgotten that incident with the order, as I'm glad to see you navigated your way through that effectively, but I'm sure the fact that they were taking the daughter of one of the merchant clans into custody must have put them a little bit ill at ease, shall we say. And here you are, safe and sound.
Yes.
No worse for wear, I trust.
For the action.
Well, the order does what they can.
Yes, of course they do.
I find it humorous as to the reason they brought you into custody, as the very person who seeks to destroy you decided to pursue you through more legal means, which is a little odd for them.
Interesting, as if they had perhaps the advice of someone who is used to dealing with such channels.
Who's to say? It was an unorthodox gambit, to be sure.
Well,
I mean, the last thing that I would expect them to do is actually fill out forms and swear out an actual warrant for your arrests. Even if, technically, they would be in the right for the property that you, shall we say, borrowed from them on your adventure. Which reminds me, speaking of borrowing and ships and such, as I'm sure you are aware, since I let your sister know that I took the liberty of bailing out your captain's ship for you.
Yes.
As I figured it may be a while before she got around to it. Do tell Marma she can stop by here when is convenient, and we will deliver it to her.
I will certainly do so.
A gift from me to her. So,
She will be
but
overjoyed
yes.
to see the cupcake again.
It warms my heart to hear that. So, well, if that is all, go and carry my tidings back to your sister and tell her I will call upon her in the afternoon. We'll talk about this order.
Does the servant have a list about the amount of furniture you'll need?
Well, the invite list is about 120, so, the usual tables, chairs, we'll need tables for food and serving, that sort of thing. Yes, they'll deliver a list for you on the way out, and she'll be able to start pulling together what she needs. I think it'll be fine.
Oh, yes, of course.
All
Absolutely.
right,
Well, since you are interested in seeing me on a more regular basis, should I perhaps call again, say within a week?
Let us all put this whole gala event behind us first, and I think we shall be talking afterwards. How does that sound? Of course, I will see you there. Naturally.
Of course, absolutely, and I will be bringing my
Excellent.
retinue with me.
Oh, good. Yes, by all means. Yes, my mind is aflutter with all the necessary things to pull this together on such short notice. The council does as the council will, and we are all just left to scramble to their tune, so to speak. But yes, I think so. But as for now, I was barely able to fit this in amongst my other duties to get this kind of thing straightened out. But by all means, we will talk again. Perhaps a meal, perhaps something a little more formal next time.
As you wish.
That would please me greatly, my child. All right, then. My next meeting is upon me. Here she rises to her feet. Let's have you out. Yeah, come on.
I'll walk out with her, give her all proper,
Yep. The courtesies and formalities and this, that, and the other. Absolutely. So. All right. Yep. Back in the carriage and out and away you are.
Yep. With a list that I'm just like,
yep.
I really hope they're going to pay us for this.
Oh yeah. There's not, the council's not gonna do anything for free.
Well, no. Jen doesn't know the business enough to know, other than the fact that people are gonna have to work a lot. Is this gonna be a huge boon, or is this like a favor to the family, or is this like, here, I'm gonna bankrupt you for a while?
The old white.
It's kind of like a visit from the king.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well.
I have no idea.
Good question. Yeah,
good
exactly.
or bad, but yes, I basically tell the people to make haste to get home.
Yep, and they start speeding along as you head back to your homestead. All right, Sod and Brahms, we will roll over to you, heading over to Maddox's place. All right. You make it there, and of course by this time you've been there enough, even like the servants kind of know you guys anyways, so it's not a big deal. And they say, yes, the Lord is in, if you will just wait here. And you're waiting again by the fountain, the foyer, and all that stuff, and looking out across the city, etc., airships coming and going. The sun's it's a nice day.
Everest, do your people use indoor fountains out of interest? Do they ever use them?
For what, bathing?
I don't know. I don't know much about your people, that's all. I'm just interested.
No, we generally don't. We're more nomadic than anything. So we're not really sticking around in multiple places unless you are like myself and you are going for training in the so you'll be sequestered basically in the magical arts. Other than that, most of our group is nomadic. So fountains, we bathe where we can find it, which I suppose would be my reasoning for foregoing normal bathing ablutions.
It's understandable. At least, well, I have to let you know now that I'm happy you had that bath. And I'm sure that Savoy is too.
I'm sure most people are happy I've had that bath.
Just gonna let that slide. All right. After a few minutes, yes, the servant comes back in and says, "Yes, Lord Maddox is ready to receive you. If you'll come with me." Foyer, back into the hall. The hall where you've pretty much done all your meetings with him. So, and he's at the table, which is not set for anything. And says, Laureate, Everest, good to see you both. Refreshment? Can I offer you something to drink?
I'm okay, but Everest?
Oh, I will take some fire water, please.
As you wish. All right. He's drinking something clear, probably just water. Please sit. It's actually good that you called upon me. I was about to see what your schedules were like over the next few days anyways. I may have another task for you, your group. The details aren't quite firmed up yet. But do you have anything pressing that's going on in the next few days?
Well, I'm sure you heard about our arrest last time.
Well, considering it happened right on my doorstep, it was hard to miss. Yes, indeed.
Well,
everything turned out okay with the order?
I'm just looking around to make sure there's no servants and the door is shut, just to make
sure.
Oh,
no, yeah, they were out.
So
what was that business all about, anyways?
It was about the airship, actually, the Chaser's airship. So now it is.
Okay.
We were apparently arrested for stolen property, and now the airship is now officially back in the Chaser's hands. That's one.
I think he's like, wait a minute. So the street thugs actually went through the law to get their airship, which, let's face it, they probably stole from someone else, back from you, and they actually had you arrested.
Well, this is what
accurate.
This is what Admiral Rhea said. And yes, that Admiral Rhea.
Wow, that's kind of impressive in a way. I was
wondering that myself. It's a bit strange to get an admiral appear. I was wondering if this whole arrest was your doing, just out of interest. But
why would I arrest you?
I don't know. I just had this weird feeling that it's strange to have an admiral come at you. But
that is odd to have someone that high up taking an interest in especially in airship theft. Again, keep in mind, they own nothing they own is legal. So I'm really surprised that. And he actually takes on a more pensive look. Like, wait a minute, why would the order go through with that? It doesn't really make any sense unless someone put them up to it. Was that all they talked with you about?
No, but this was, in fact, surprisingly enough, Admiral Rhea actually had a task that she wanted us to do.
Which was?
So there have been a spate of murders, apparently, and it looks like there's a person about, which is one of Everest's people. However, this person
from your land, he addresses Everest. Where you come from? Is
that would be correct.
Okay.
However, this person
that would be correct.
You would say Everest is this person, however, is not affiliated anymore with your people.
She is not.
But
she's an aberration.
So this person, at least from what we can tell, has been going around murdering people in Adriel.
At least that's what we think. To make.
Okay. Yeah. So, based on what Everest has told us, is that this person has been going around, traveling from land to land, doing this, and he's tasked with finding this person and stopping them. So my only assumption is that this person's in Adriel doing the same thing.
And he kind of looks at Everest for a long moment. And do they look like you? The hair and everything, and the tattoos and all that.
Yes, same color, same tattoos. Only difference, she has breasts.
Well, I would think that type of person wouldn't be too hard to locate, even in a city as large as Adriel. So
This is where the other problem comes in.
Huh?
She is with Grinder.
how do you know that?
Because they kidnapped Everest.
Ooh,
And he
Wow.
was able to escape. And if you want to show him the marks, like you can show him. It wasn't very pretty, but he got away.
Well, good for you. Kind of raises his glass. Few people who fall. I don't know much about the Chasers. All I know is that the few who fall into their clutches in that regard seldom escape to tell the tale. And so you saw this person. You saw this person.
I did have help getting out.
How so?
It wasn't just.
It wasn't. You guys didn't help him.
No, we were on the hob job, remember, for the ardent steel.
Oh, this happened at the same time. I
Yes.
would have thought he would have been with you on the job.
Yeah, something came up.
Oh,
I don't fully
okay.
understand what happened. I wasn't there. I just
All right, so you were separated. You got captured. You got help from where?
I don't know I know the individual only by one name, which was Griggs, which I overheard. Now this person managed to get me out. However, I thought he died. He was set. The last I saw him, he was set on fire and burning in the fire that had happened a few days ago. Now, after we got arrested on your doorstep, he was there in perfect health, not a mark on him.
Sorry, he was in the arrest cadre to bring you in?
correct.
That would be correct.
So he was part of the order working what, undercover? In the Chasers? I'm
Possibly.
confused.
This is the conundrum.
Possibly.
We need
don't
someone
know.
with a bit of power or a bit of knowledge to give us more information on Griggs. Now, we're going to, after this meeting, see if we can get in contact with Admiral Rhea and coax her a little bit, see if she knows anything.
Yes, do that. Okay.
But if you can look into this Griggs person yourself through your contacts.
I'll try. I'm not
It's a
trying
bit
to
hard
look
because
for
it's the
anything.
military order, and you're not really
Yeah,
affiliated
exactly.
to them.
I've got my entree there is not deep, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna. You're better off. Look, I've known Rhea for years. She's a straight shooter. I think if you, especially given he points at Everest, given the connection you have with hopefully one of her operatives, if you any light you can shed on that might be very helpful to her. So I just think, honestly, I think your best bet is to be straight up with her and see, show you guys are on the same side, and find out what the deal is with that person, because that is very odd, especially given, like you said, his condition when you last saw him. Something's not quite right there. But look, you guys approach it how you want. I'm just giving you a little bit of advice. So,
just a heads up as well is that Grinder has escalated the problems that we have with him. Is what he perceives anyway, and he has actually threatened my family, the tavern. And
how so? Burning it down?
He poisoned the Patreons that were eating there.
How crude.
It's only going to get worse from there.
Yep. It would seem the Chasers are becoming more and more a thorn in more and more people's sides. At some point, something's got to be done about them. The only question is when and by whom.
Which is now another thing why I need to contact Admiral Rhea, because this happened just as we got back from our arrest. So hopefully she'll be able to perhaps put even more pressure on. But knowing the chasers, I mean, like, you need every avenue, everyone with some kind of influence to put pressure on a group like that.
Indeed. I mean, the Order can do sweeps into Gelspar, but it's of limited value. It doesn't get you everything, and often tends to depress the local populace who get caught up in these sweeps. So there needs to be something more surgical, more precise.
So I was wondering if you perhaps had any information on the location of Grinder.
I should be so lucky. Keep in mind, of course, he double-crossed me as well. My people have been looking, but without a lot of success.
Shame.
Have you tried asking Hob?
No, not yet.
Okay. If anyone were to know where that little twerp, pardon my language, if that guy was hiding out somewhere, he would, but I'm concerned about the price that might have to be paid to elicit that information. I mean, Hob is a broker, but there are certain parties that even he's wary of crossing, and I think the Chasers are probably one of them. So, by all means, give it a try. I would suggest go talking to him, but I'm not sure how useful he's going to be, or whether you can afford the price he's going to want to give up that information.
Yeah.
Just a word of caution, that's all.
I'm just surprised that Hobbs is this type of person. I figured he was just a...
What did you think he was?
I'd never met him since before, so... I was wondering, perhaps, do you have anything that we can use on Hob that can help us? That you're willing to give?
Hob is useful to me as a source of information, and when I need things disseminated into the streets, I've kind of kept him a little bit at arm's length for that matter, because the problem is, of course, he is completely neutral. If someone has coin is willing to pay, then he will give up whatever they're looking for, no matter whom that may harm. So far, our relationship has been mutually beneficial, so he's had no need to turn on me, and certain things I've ceded to him have not gone out into the street. That's not to say that past results do not indicate future performance. The best bet is to try to reach some sort of bargain with him. He always has things that he needs done that he prefers to hire other people to do. The Arlen Steele thing was a perfect example. And if you can find a job that doesn't, go against your personal whatever morals, and you can do for him for the information, it's the easiest way to get what you want out of him, that's for sure.
I really don't want to be in Bob's employ after the last two jobs.
Well, you're here alive, and even got a bit of reputation in Adrios as the Heroes of Gelspar. It wasn't that terrible of a mission, now was it? And if I can speak plainly, Laureate, even after a decade, your reputation could still use a bit of burnishing. That might actually help you get into the academy further than the front door. Yes, Hob is duplicitous, scheming, and certainly not trustworthy, but he does have his uses. Approach him with that mindset, and you probably will be able to get what you want. It's just a matter of whether the price is worth paying, that's all. That's unfortunately all I can give you on him.
Well, do you have any other questions, Everest, that you want to ask?
No, I think you've covered everything adequately.
Will we be seeing you at the Starlight Gala that's being thrown by the council?
Oh, you're attending?
Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well,
we
didn't get a personal invite, but the Veneer family did, and as one of our party members is part of the Veneer family, he's decided to let us tag along.
Do you wish your own invite? That could be arranged. Or do you wish to go with the Veneers? It is completely up to you.
I would prefer to have my own invite for keeping her. I think the problems that I have shouldn't really be on her shoulders as well. But
now, keep in mind, when I say that, that means you'd be attending as my guest.
Yeah,
not hers.
That's the problem. I don't.
He chuckles.
Do you
I
want
understand.
to? We'll have this discussion after this meeting.
All right. Everest, the same offer, of course, goes for you as well, as you were part of the crew that helped save Gelspar. It would be the least I could do if that's something that you think would prove advantageous for you.
I think I will stay with the Veneer family in going to the gala. Thank you, though.
That's not a problem. I mean, in a way, the Commons owes all of you for this even being happening, because the council has taken, shall we say, sudden interest in the area, and perhaps looking at maybe making it more integrated into the city. So we've only you guys to thank for them throwing a ball of 3 days' time. It should be delightful. But yes, let me know regardless, Laureate, what you wish to do. It's not a problem. So, and also, by the way, you never got back to me after.
Well, I would like to talk about that,
ball.
but I need to have that in private. Everest, is that all right with you?
I'll go wait out in the hall.
Thank you.
All right. Always a pleasure, Everest. Good to see you. Once he's gone, he turns back to you and says, yes?
All right. Where to begin? It's been a long few nights.
Well, start at the beginning and go from
I
there.
don't know. Do you think it would be wise to publicly show my connection to you yet? Do you think that's
well,
based on what's happened so far?
The whole business with Gelspar has kind of already happened. Let's see. I gotta think. You guys, when you delivered the crystal, you guys had to go to Gelspar and put it into place, right? It was you were actually had to.
We brought it to your people, and your people put it up. What I remember.
He did. Oh, all right. So it was done kind of on the sly.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. That's what I need to know. He says, well, yeah, our connection is not public yet, although certainly people are starting to wonder. Unfortunately, the arrest by my place kind of, I think, threw them off the track a bit. However, at some point, it's going to become public knowledge. The question is whether you want to accelerate that or hold it off for as long as possible.
Well, I was thinking, so I had to meet my contact last night, and he also said, surprisingly, about asking Hob about Grindr.
Well, it's not that surprising. Hob knows a lot of things about a lot of people.
But if we want to get show more credence to it, that we are quite connected, perhaps this is a good idea. But I need to know if you will get some kind of kickback from other various noble houses or other merchants or people in the council.
Whom I invite to the Starlight Gala is my own business and no one else's. And if I thought it would have been a problem, of course I would not have broached the invitation in the first place to you even. I am not concerned with what they have to say about me. Indeed, having the heroes of Gelspar there will actually look fairly good for me. So that is known well enough by the people in general. Let's put it that way. So
right,
it doesn't, but again, it's up to you and whether you want that spotlight shown upon you at this time.
I think, personally, I just want to get on with my work, really. Dealing with all this politics is not really my forte.
Well, unfortunately,
but as I've understood over a long period of time, perhaps I need to start working this angle in order to achieve my goals. And
exactly.
And you're probably the first one that's really put your foot out for me. So I think now's the time.
Very well, and you're right. Unfortunately, politics and intrigue and everything that comes with that higher level machinations is all part and parcel of trying to get anything affect real change in Adriel. It cannot be done with a hammer. Sometimes a scalpel, and sometimes it comes with a bow tie. It all depends on what your goals are and how you wish to go about affecting them.
So, my contact, I was, as you probably would be if someone poisoned your family, I was very pissed, and I tried to stay as composed as possible when speaking.
My family is everything to me,
and I was able to hopefully get a meeting with whoever the next one up is, if you know what I mean.
Oh yes, this was through a secret organization that you've a part of.
Have you?
We still, so no more information on them. I haven't been able to find anything.
Yeah, they have given me nothing. However, I hinted at perhaps during this gala that they would contact me. Perhaps they will, perhaps they won't, but that's something you may want to keep an eye on.
Well, if they do, be sure to let me know that you can point them out to me.
Because I still don't know what these people think, what they want exactly. They've given me nothing other than just tasks to do.
Yeah, I would be careful about getting ensnared too deep with them if you don't know their ultimate objectives. They could be just using you for their own ends. Speaking of, by the way, did you need some assistance at your inn? I don't like people striking at those who I work with.
Well, I actually asked them to do that, and they agreed to place someone there to keep an eye on it. So I was thinking, you could do it as well, but keep an eye on that person. That might give us some clue as to where they're going, if they are part of some group.
Well, I was actually thinking of something a little bit more public, like a couple of armed guards on site.
I feel like it might be a bit too much to put guards there. I don't think they'll enjoy having guards in the front of their tavern. It'll probably stave off a lot of the patrons who have come to just relax and get away from everything.
Fair. Do you know who's going to be watching your place? I mean, that's not a bad idea to watch the Watcher. That only works, however, if you know who the heck it is.
I
and
have
what
no
they're doing
idea.
there.
So this would be something that you could try and figure out, independent of.
Well, you know what? I'll have a couple people come around anyways. Redundancy is not a bad idea, and if they happen to spot this person, perhaps then we might be able to get a bead on what this organization is and what their aims are. I confess, I am curious, and it's not much happens in here without my knowledge, and the fact that there's some sort of society doing something here, it doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well at all, and I need to find out more. So, you said that you demanded a meeting, and what was their answer to that? Was it someone higher up in their organization?
They would pass it on, of course, and try and deal with it, because I did give them. I made a bit of an ultimatum that if they want me to stay with them, then they better give me something. Better put me in contact with someone who is actually like a head or a leader of this organization, and explain to me who the hell they are. Otherwise, I walk.
Okay. Well,
so
sometimes it's necessary to take a firm hand.
Hopefully, they'll take that.
Right. And have you done anything? Have you accomplished anything for them so far that's in your favor?
I've given them all your information so far. Grinder, when I gave him the information, not the one with the warehouse, but the previous one, he didn't fall for that. He knew it was I think he knew that there was something up with that information. So I'm gonna need another bit of information, and I feel like it's gonna have to be something more real. You know what I mean? Something more valuable.
Well, the warehouse I gave you this time is certainly real in terms of that. it's a target that once they do their homework, so to speak, it should be tempting enough for them to bite on.
But I may need an extra one on top of that now for my next encounter with them, because Grindr is starting to become more public with our meetings.
Meetings, is that what you call them? Okay. All right.
I have a feeling he'll probably contact me the next day or two to try and get more information from.
Right. I'll have to think about it. I have to see what what is expendable in what I'm doing, or maybe we can create something. I'll have to get back to you on
We're
that.
gonna have to do it fast, so
no.
I'm putting that on you.
The wheels only turn as fast as they're able to. If I've got nothing, I have nothing. But I should be able to come up with something. Just trying to go anywhere alone for the next couple of days. That's my suggestion. If he can't find you,
problem
he
is
can't
I have
get
to
you.
meet. My contact wants me to meet them every night for the next few days, so that's going to be a problem.
Where at?
Oh, at the Dry Dock Tavern. That's the meeting location.
Interesting. All right, make those meetings, and don't worry about it. And yeah, I think you might be able to do something in that. All right, yeah. If you have a schedule, keep at it then, and don't worry about being seen.
Try not to. If you're planning on trying to have someone follow them, I have a feeling if you, it'd be very risky and it would affect.
I pay my people well to take risks that we deem worth the effort. So just worry about your end.
Look in your
Let
eye.
me
You're
worry
probably
about
thinking
mine.
of doing that, and
Some other things. There are several avenues open to me at this time.
these people.
It's a
could be
matter of
good.
which one's the most expeditious.
I still think that they have some good in them because they did something that I didn't expect them to do, and that was actually for the good of Adriel. So just keep that in mind.
And I'm sorry, what was that for the good of Adriel?
The incident in just the Silverglades lifts. There was you may have heard there was a lot of bodies found there for Rift Mages. As we were traveling, we actually were part of that incident. There was apparently planting bombs there. That's maybe if you remember I showed you the bomb. And
right.
And so I passed it on to my contact, and they sent it on to the proper authorities. And Admiral Ray knew
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Chasers had some good in them. Good God, man.
No,
I was about to say, I would hope you didn't give the Chasers the location of several black powder barrels or whatever was over there. Okay. Good God, don't scare me like that. Okay, these people. Well, that's interesting, but did they give it on to the authorities, or did they take the...
Yes, Admiral Ray knew about it.
Okay. Good. All right, that is good then. Well, we just need to know who they are and what their aims are. That's the important thing. That's...
Before we decide
this
anything.
lack of information is what's concerning. But that you're the only one
Which
right
is
now.
why I'm telling you all this, because you've been forthright, and I believe.
Right. But it's possible that your organization, the Chasers, might intersect at some point during one of these meetings. And if that happens, I want to have reinforcements there to make sure that they don't take you out, or screw up your reputation, growing as it is with this other organization too. That's also important. So, make your meetings, keep your schedule. For God's sake, be careful.
I will.
All right.
And get back to me as soon as you can about the
something else so
anything.
That's workable. Right.
Anything. So.
Okay. All right. I will. All right.
And I
Take
shake
care,
his
Laureate.
hand, put out his hand.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
Next meeting.
Yeah, and keep your schedule open after the Starlight Gala.
Try my best.
Especially if you need to get out of town quickly. I may have something that'll accomplish both our goals for us.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
All right. Safe travels. Did you guys walk here? Did you actually want a carriage back? We could actually transport you back to the near household.
I need to walk it off a little bit after
everything
that's happened.
All right then. Yep. Okay, so after like I don't know, 10 minutes, Lauria comes back out,
Yeah.
joins Everest. Yeah. Who's
Got
by
a
the
little
fountain
bit
again.
of got a little bit of I'd say a little bit of sweat on the brow, just a bit of frustration in the face, but and I come out and just say, sorry Everest, that took a bit longer than I thought it would.
That's okay. The water was soothing.
Yeah, it actually was. Exactly.
But
All right.
I've just let you know I've decided to get an official invite from Maddox rather than the Veneer House. I'll be telling
Any
that to
specific
Savoy.
reason why?
My alignment with Maddox, I'm starting to, how do I say this? I'm starting to like him, and he's been quite honest with me about his intentions, and he's even offered me a position, but I'm still thinking about it.
It's a fair point, but be careful not to get too entangled with these nobles.
I think I've been entangled with them and have been at the bottom of the barrel for the last 10 years. And hasn't been any improvements until now, so and it's honestly without Maddox I wouldn't be in this position right now, having some kind of acknowledgement.
Well, it's a fair point. Well, you're going to have to break the news to Savoy and see how she takes it.
I think she'll understand.
Will she?
Yeah. As long as you're honest.
So you guys were having that conversation
All right, your funeral.
in the foyer, and as you walk out, a servant approaches you, Laureate, and hands you a folded missive with the seal of the Maddox household on it.
Mm-hmm. I assume this is the invitation.
Miss, you assume correctly. Yep.
Right. Like the servant.
Yep. And Lord Maddox requests your presence. Yeah, exactly. All right. All right, you are going next. I think you're going to the merchant order. I'm sorry,
military
not the merchant order. The military order headquarters, right?
Yeah. This is going to be interesting.
Indeed. All right, so you head over there. It takes about half hour, 45 minutes, or not that close to the wingspan. And once you're there, how do you go about gaining an audience with the admiral?
So I'll go up to whatever kind of they've got like a foyer with like workers or some kind of.
Well, there's two order guardsmen kind of at the main doors, which are huge and double and just very, very big.
Yeah. So I'll just go up to ask one and say, excuse me, I was wondering if I could have a meeting with Admiral Rhea.
And she looks at you and says, the Admiral's a very busy person. What makes you think she's able to see you just on your whim?
Could you at least get a message to her right now and then see what she responds with?
What type of message?
Tell her that Laureate wishes to speak with her urgently.
Wait here. She nods at her compatriot, who takes a not aggressive interest in you, but certainly keeping an eye on both of you. And she walks inside.
Yeah, we wait like 15 minutes for this, probably. Looking good.
Not that far. Not that long. Like less than 10. And she comes back, and demeanor's a little bit different. She says, yes, the Admiral will see you. Come with me.
All right.
Takes you inside. Order people going around. It's, like any big main bureaucracy / police headquarters is. It takes you to a room that you think is like on an upper level. You're not really entirely sure. It's a multi-level building. but you think you're like maybe on the second or third floor somewhere, and takes you to a relatively featureless room. It's comfortable. It's not an interrogation
I
room.
wonder, would we see? Maybe we'll see Grix while we're walking by. Anything like that?
Well, if you make a focus roll.
Yeah.
Well, you make a focus roll.
I would like to.
I don't know if Everest wants to or not.
I don't think.
Based on the description,
I don't think he would.
Hey, I just made it this time. Just made it.
All right, but you don't see him.
Okay.
I mean, because you're actually scanning, but you don't see anything. So, all right. Takes you to a room. Says, "Wait here. The admiral will be with you shortly." Here is where you wait the 15 to 20 minutes. So cool your heels. Finally, it does take a while. She pops in and says, "Apologies for that. It's a busy day here. It's good to see you again, Laureate. And you, Everest. What do I owe the pleasure?"
A few things. Firstly, do you have the documents ready for the council? The academy.
Yes, I do. Thank you for coming by. Exactly. And she hands you yet another folded missive. Give that to whoever is in charge. That
Yeah, I'll go to the
should hopefully
administration
ease your
building
way.
and just see if they will accept it. We have a few other things we need to notify you about with regards to Grinder and the chases that happened just after our release.
Okay, what now?
So, Grinder had poisoned the people in Traveler's Belt. He admitted to it. If I was
Poisoned as in
well,
death,
I don't know
or-
how the severity of the poison, but he did it as a way of getting to me, as a way of threatening me.
And he told you this.
Yes. And my whole party was there to witness it. So, while I feel like arresting him on that would just be too much, too little to go on, because he could argue regarding the airship and all that, and it would become a legal nightmare. And of course, dealing with the chasers this way probably won't work. I just want to let you know about that he is starting to escalate it to start harming people who aren't even part of this problem.
Indeed. That that does become a problem. All right. Do you need any assistance at the inn?
No. We'll be okay. We'll be able to deal with it.
I think we'll step up patrols in that area anyways, not focused on yours, just the neighborhood.
Yes, that's...
See if there's any other chaser activity going on there. They can't be allowed. I mean, and she kind of sighs. And this is where, she looks a little bit more tired than usual.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like, she's like, it's not like their territory is Gelspar, which it is, however. But they can't be allowed to run amok in other neighborhoods. They'll underline everything we're working for here. It's just a matter of trying to strike them down in one place, they pop up in 3 others, is the problem. Hopefully this gala shindig they're going to be pulling will help to start funneling some money toward Gelspar and make it more an actual real part of Adriel and not just this cast-off neighborhood. Because once the people there start coming together with a purpose, then we might be able to break the chasers' backs once and for all. But until that happens, until they're unable to recruit from the lesser people, we don't have a hope of stopping them until we can give those people something better to look forward to. But in the meantime, the things like this cannot stand, obviously.
Thank you. And I kind of look towards Everest. Do you want to talk about this yourself? Or do you want me to?
No, in this case, I think it's best I handle this particular matter. There was a particular individual that had helped me escape from Ixis and the chasers when I was captured. This particular individual went by, I only heard his name once, and it was in passing, but he went by the name of Grix. Now, this individual, I thought had died while he was rescuing me, as he was set on fire, completely immolated in the blaze that happened a few days ago. However, when you arrived on Medic's doorstep to bring us in, he was standing with your group, just perfectly fine. Not a scratch on him, and looked no worse for wear.
Well, that fills in a bit of the puzzle you've been dealing with. Yes, we had one of our operatives had managed to infiltrate the chasers, and his name was it Orin? Is that what you called him? Todd? Yeah. And we aren't sure what happened. He was found perfectly fine, but lying in an alleyway. And he said he had no memory of the past day or day and a half. He could not recall. Fearing that he had been compromised, we pulled him out and returned him to duty among the Order. But he does not have any recollection of the preceding, I would say, 36 hours from when he was located in an alley on the outskirts of Gelspar. So I don't know. We've examined him, we interrogated him, we debriefed him the whole 9 yards. He has no memory. I don't think he'd even recognize you if he was brought in here right now. The last he remembers, he was doing his typical guard turns, waiting for something big was coming, and he was waiting for that, and that's all he recalls. And then the next thing he knows, he woke up in the alley and staggered out, found a patrol, and the rest, that's it. There's a big blank gap in his memory, and we're not quite sure what happened during that time.
Interesting. Now, when you found him, did he look completely fine, or was he damaged in any way?
He looked like he was just sleeping on the street. He did not there was no evidence of any physical injury whatsoever. Certainly not burn marks, and not even any weapons injuries, or anything.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Indeed. You're sure it was him? I can actually, if you want to get another look at him, I can certainly have him brought here if you want to make sure this is the person that helped you.
Yes, let's do it, considering he doesn't remember my face.
Or maybe seeing you might spark something in him. It's worth trying either way.
Also,
she goes to the door.
Before you go, I have a quick proposal that may work out regarding this.
Yeah? Mm-hmm.
I think, wouldn't it be better if we had a contact, an intermediary between us, rather than me coming directly to the military order over and over to try and contact you? Perhaps we could use this Rick's person be the contact, and then you can use him and see how he responds.
Well, he's been cleared for duty, so there's no real reason not to. Let me take that under advisement. I need to make sure he doesn't have anything else on his docket, but that's not a bad idea, certainly. Let me bring him in here and see if anything sparks. If not, we might go ahead with your suggestion. That might work. All right, she goes to the door and whispers to someone outside. Wait a few. Was there anything else you needed to discuss with me while we wait?
I think that's about it, really. I mean, will you be attending the Starlight Gala as part of the military?
Well, the Order will be there. I mean, I will be there as the liaison to the Council, but of course the Order will be there providing security. Are you expecting anything to happen there? Is there something I should know about?
Well, I mean, the only thing I have to do is just double check the food and drink. That's all I can really say. If Grinder tries to do anything drastic, that's probably what his first choice will be.
Well, if the rumors about Grinder or the Chasers are correct, they know what side of they know which side their bread is buttered on. I don't think they'd try something as crass as pranking or whatever, or even poisoning the gala. But all the food will be under heavy security and preparation and everything. But we'll redouble our efforts. If that's true. It's, while highly unlikely, it doesn't mean it's impossible. Laureate, I get something we should probably talk about, but I want you to think about it right now. If Grinder does have, and actually both of you, since you're both here, if Grinder does have such a desire to do harm to either or both of you, we may need to enlist your help in trying to set some sort of a trap for him. You two are the only things that will for sure lure him out. I don't usually put civilians in danger like this, but if we ever have any chance, if we want to have a real chance of getting him off the streets for good, that might be the only way. So I'm not asking yet, I just want you both to think about it.
I'll do so.
I mean, like, if it gets to that
You're
stage,
kind of looking like that was quick.
if it gets to the stage of having to straight up take him out like that, sure. I think someone like him is just not worth. It's not worth trying to persuade them. They're too simple-minded. Probably be a little bit of a, not the right term. Probably a bit.
It's not simple-minded. The Chasers didn't
They're more
get
determined. Too determined.
There you go. Exactly. Focused. Singularly focused is probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Believe me, the Chasers did not get to be where they are today by being dumb. Ruthless, brutal, sure, but they're also very cunning. And trust me, you don't want to underestimate them. Grinder's little prank at your inn proved that they can be more subtle when they want to be. So just treat them with the respect they kind of, I hate saying that, but treat them with the wary respect that they deserve as your enemy. Because make no mistake, they're definitely your enemy. There's a knock at the door, and she goes and opens it, and Orin/Grix/Orin walks in. And indeed, it is the same person. Yeah, you recognize the guy who saved your life or helped save your life. Everest, this is him. This is him. And he comes in and tosses off a salute to the Admiral. He kind of is surprised, not at you two, but he's surprised at the Admiral. So he's like, Admiral, I just was sent here. I'm not really sure why. Is everything all right? He's like, at ease, Corporal. It's fine. And she kind of looks at you two and looks at him again, and he looks at you two, does not evince any sort of recognition. Well, not at Laureate for sure, but even at Everest, he kind of looks at you, his eyebrow raises as in, well, that's an interesting looking person, but that's really about it. And he doesn't say anything, and she introduces him.
Excuse me.
Corporal Orin, this is Laureate, and this is Everest. I've brought you here because I want you to serve as kind of the order liaison to these two. They're involved in an ongoing operation against the Chasers. Part of the one that you were involved with until your incident. And he looks a little pained at that. But he nods and says, we feel that you are the best person to be the liaison so they don't have to come to headquarters all the time. Since you're already skilled in undercover work, we'll be able to place you in a position where you'll be able to shuttle information back and forth between them and us without anyone being the wiser. And he's like, of course, Admiral, I live to serve. Whatever is needed from me for you and getting rid of this Chaser scum, absolutely.
Can I read his face with a...
Sure, make an insight roll.
Let's see if there's any kind of response there. Nope, because I can't roll.
He seems perfectly, and I'll say this outright, you don't get any, not even a hint of dissemblance or concealment or lying or anything. He seems perfectly straightforward as a, I serve the military order kind of thing.
Yep.
Like very much big guy, to live is to serve, this is my duty. It's just very much, there's nothing like he's trying to hide anything, at least as far as you can tell. Of course, you failed the role, so there you go, but He looks very straight up to you. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Everest, was there anything you want to do at this instance while this little conversation is going on? Other than maybe have a kind of stifle your reaction at seeing the guy whose last time you saw him his body was burning in the street, now standing hale and hearty before you, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. It's kind of...
Yeah, a little like, the dude looks perfectly intact. Like all that shit never even happened. So it was like, holy crap, and you are 1,000% positive you left his body lying in the street on frickin' fire. Yep, no doubt in your mind.
And I think... And now he's like, I think what he would end up doing is looking at him and just trying to not place him, but since he knows, but he's at this point, he looks, stares at him for a minute, turns around, and then starts mulling, kind of pacing back and forth, trying to figure out, okay, how and who and why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Basically, he's mulling over like, how did this happen? Who would have done it? Why would they have done it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And are you actually like pacing back and forth and muttering to yourself?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Okay. And then after a minute or so, you turn to find all three. I'm not sure if Laureate's looking at you too, but certainly the two military, the order officers are looking at you a little strangely. And Brian says, "Everything okay?"
Everything's fine, just thinking out loud.
Very well.
Sometimes it helps me focus.
Sure. All right. Oren, you're dismissed. We will set up schedule for interactions and get you placed with an identity and a location shortly. You and I will talk about this afternoon. Afternoon. And she salutes again and says, "Thank you, Admiral. I will do everything I can." And he steps out. He closes the door and waits a few seconds. Turns back to you and ever says that was him, right? It's the only one we've been able to, the only person who's ever been able to successfully infiltrate the Chasers so far.
Without a question, that was him.
But that's the person you said claimed you saw burning in the street, right?
He should be he should be ash by now. He shouldn't be standing, walking, breathing, talking. So who and why would somebody be doing this?
Well, the obvious answer is someone's trying to get their own person or a facsimile thereof or something inside the military order.
It's very possible.
Or the good corporal has unsuspected healing depths I wasn't aware of, which I doubt, since he was strong. He was tested once he went through the academy. But who has the ability to bring someone back from the very brink of death like that?
Should probably not get into this line of questioning, thinking it's just going to lead too far down a rabbit hole that we don't need to really go into.
Well, so here's the question. Do we keep him on this assignment with what we suspect? And I thereby putting you at risk, but also in the hopes of trying to find out if he is subverted and who that may lead to.
I think so. I think it'd probably be the best way to find out.
All right.
You know where he'll be. You know the way he'll go.
Yeah, well, we'll set up everything on our end, which means now we have to start feeding you false info, or we have to figure out what false information we're going to feed him to pass up the chain if this is the case. And takes a deep breath. I really hope it's not. Oren is a good officer. He's been exemplary so far. It will be very disappointing if they've managed to turn him. So I will not hesitate in saying I hope that we are all wrong on this. But so far, based on the evidence we have, we cannot treat him as perfect for this, or not subverted. clean, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So okay, so in other words, we're going to need another actual real mediator between us and them, because that chain, until it's been
Correct.
verified, cannot be trusted yet. All right, I'll have to find an officer. Actually, I might know somebody, and he'd be perfect for this. All right, I will. Someone will get in touch with you at some point. Trust me, you'll know who it is. It'll be very clear.
Very
All right,
well.
anything else I could do for you?
I believe that's it, unless you've got anything, Everest.
I think that covered everything accurately. Maybe a little too much.
Well, we are entering into strange days, and it'll be prudent to keep our wits about us at all times. The Chasers, the blow that was dealt to them after the Gelspart incident caused them to lie low, but obviously they haven't wasted a lot of time getting back to their old tricks. And again, you being a target is bad for you, but technically good for us. I hate to be so blunt about it, but it's true. If we can utilize that to our advantage, we may be able to strike a real blow at them. Something to make them pull back for a while. So let's get this all in place, and let's move from there. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for seeing us.
Yep. All right. I have like 8 million things to do, so if there's nothing else, I have to go try to get back on my schedule that's already been pushed off. But it's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, and good luck at the academy. I have a feeling you're going to need it.
Thank you.
All right.
And we
Well, with
just-
that, you're shown back the way out, and in a few minutes you find your ways back in the front doors.
Yep.
All right, those two things took about, I don't know, till early afternoon. So you could still, if you wanted to, you could head over to the academy now. It's completely up to you.
I think that's enough for now. I think we should think about what we're going to do and notify Savoy before we do the academy.
All right.
Well, I think
So are you heading back home or what?
Yeah, we'll go. Well, unless you have something, a task, anything you want to do, Everest.
Nope, I think we've had a very interesting day. Seeing a dead man, is not something I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
Dead man walking?
Understandable. Based on what I've seen, it's totally understandable. So let's head back. And we go back to Vinia residence.
All right. Well, as you are heading back, let's see. You start heading back towards the merchant quarters. Each of you make an insight roll for me. And this is going to be at a +3 because it's a bustling street. It's a busy marketplace and everything.
Ooh, no.
I finally get it. Yeah, there we go. That's a critical success in
All right. excellent.
Emberwind
There you
terms. It only took like 10 rolls to actually succeed.
Like 5. Whatever. All right. So yeah, you're walking, Everest. You're still mulling over like, well, how the hell kind of that thing happens? When Lori, you notice there seems to be someone kind of following both of you for like the past couple minutes. So nondescript person, and they're not dressed,
Yeah.
crazily well or poorly, but they definitely seem to be heading. It's more than heading in the same direction you're heading. Let's put it that way.
Everest, there is someone behind us who's following. Gonna take a shortcut.
We have a tail, then perhaps we should try and lose them. Yes, let's do that.
I have a better idea. Why don't we find out who they are?
Okay,
And this is
give
how
us a shot.
This is how the merchant quarter burnt down.
So
All right,
we'll,
how do you want
kind
to
of
do
like
this?
take a shortcut, but it's like an alleyway and where we can set up an ambush. Like use the corner, blind corner,
around a corner, and then they go to turn.
Okay, so you're trying to find someplace that's more out of the way, right?
Yeah, just see if they fall for it, even if there's less people there than on the main street.
Well, it's I mean, off the main street, it's fairly easy to find. It's a lot like European alleys where fairly quickly it falls off because if you're there for a reason. If you're not there, you don't really hang around. So it's fairly easy to go inside and find a place that works better. And you can find someone certainly that gives you that opportunity to kind of, then you double back real quick around the corner and wait for them to come around and go from there.
Yep. So we'll set that up. See what happens. See if anyone comes.
Okay. Wait a minute. And then another one. And yet another one, but no one seems to be going down after you.
Wait just a little bit longer.
Okay. A minute goes by. Third one. Still nothing.
Maybe it was just my imagination.
Maybe. I mean, you could have sworn, but the fact is you think they would have kept going, and now it's been like a good 5-6 minutes, and no one's come up for you at that point.
Let's continue on, Everest.
All right, let's go.
All right. Do you rejoin the main street or start cutting through here into some other...
Go back on the main street. It's better and safer on the main street.
All right. Okay. As you rejoin the flow of... I guess it's just customers or whatever, personnel, people, that kind of thing. You haven't gone more than 10 steps when actually both of you feel very sharp pricks at your backs in the crush of people. And there's a cart about 10 feet away. And the person behind each of you says, "No funny business, or we skewer you and leave you to bleed in the street. Head for the cart and no one gets hurt." And I think that's where we're going to cut it tonight.
Oh, not again. This time I'm going to be kidnapped too. No!
Well, the good news is you got plenty of time to think about what you want to do about it, if anything. There we go.
You're not just going to let them take you, are you?
Like I said, they have a good 2-3 weeks to figure out what they're going to do about it. I mean, it's a public place, which is both good and bad. So, yeah, that is the question. So that is the dilemma, the point of the dilemma they find themselves on. So, yeah.
I see what you did there. Kind of like the grind.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was certainly very interesting. Plots and preparations, and indeed both came to light and discussed and kicked about, and things were done. And now, but the problem is, problems are to be had. So, but always a good time with the Ember crew. Thank you guys very much. Real quick, let's go through the good folks here, and we'll start at the very end. Brahms, it's good to see you as well. A pleasure. Everest, I think, did a nice job of sussing out some things and putting some things together. So, how did you think the session went? And of course, then follow up with who you are, where people can find you, and all that good stuff.
Sure, session went excellently. Been a while.
Except for maybe the end part. Yeah.
Well, I got the point at the end. So, and then, I mean, where you can find me at Leppy83 on Twitter. I'm generally here twice a month doing this thing. And I'm still waiting to get Lex Arcana off the ground. Waiting for that, Johnny.
Come on, we can do it. We can do it, Brahms.
It's like Johnny, look, if you're listening to this, you need to get going on this, man. I'm telling you right now. Let's go. But I mean, that's essentially what I'm doing. And again, I think it was a lot of fun tonight. We got to see a lot of different angles of what's going on politically within Adriel.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to see how the party is working all the angles upon angles and the different people you all know. So that's been a lot of fun to see you navigate that.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Jen Brozek also joining us as Savoy, the grumpy mother of the group. So how did you think everything went? And tell people who you are and what you do and where people can find you.
I'm an author and editor. Most recently, I finished up a podcast called Shadow Bites, which is hosted by The Violent Life podcast. It's a Shadowrun podcast. And I co-wrote a story with John Helfers called Written in Red, all about the red market. Tonight actually kind of surprised me in the fact that Lady Makia actually wanted to do actual business.
Well, you know, she can multitask too. She's not the only
I haven't
one.
quite figured out if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, that's why they tell your sister that.
Yeah.
She wants what now?
Yes. And I am a cat mom of 4 cats. Pharaoh is 18 pounds. The smallest cat I have is 5.5. That's Lilu. Otherwise, you can find me everywhere online, mostly on Twitter, Jennifer Brozek. My website is jenniferbrozek.com. And my birthday will pass before our next meeting. So I have a December
actually yours and mine both. So that's true.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, happy early birthday. There you go.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Good. Very good to hear. Always a pleasure. As the gala grows closer, yes, it'll be very interesting. And of course, last but certainly not least, Sod, my redoubtable IT guy and also laureate. So Sod,
lots of threads just weaving together.
Yep. I'm glad someone keep track of them.
Laureate is trying to work everyone as best as she can to try and get through this. She is really deep into it. Like it's starting to get serious now.
And I really love how she's the reluctant. I just want to go do my crystal stuff. I really don't want to be involved in this crap. But the way you set her up for me, that gave you unfortunately personal ties that could be pulled upon, as we showed.
It's all. I like the idea of like being very supportive of Maddox. I think that works out well. Like you got to pick someone eventually, and that's going to cause everyone else to rebel against you or to go at you.
Well, it's picking a side, and that's going to be very interesting to see the repercussions of picking that particular side down the road. Yep.
So that's going to be fun, and it's going to be great being kidnapped and killed. Thanks, Everest.
No, don't.
Targets of opportunity. You're both wanted equally by Grindr. Remember, it's not just one or the other. Yeah,
that is true.
They saw targets of opportunity. Well, assuming this is them, which of course it probably is them. Let's be honest. But they saw targets of opportunity, and there you go.
You should do massive damage to them. Seriously, massive.
I'm not a damage dealer.
Very put out if you don't come home.
Yeah, you just be waiting there with your arms crossed at the front door, going, "They're not back yet."
Yeah, pacing exactly.
Pacing like a mother.
Well, it all depends on her hourglass. It all depends on what they want to do next time. So we will. We will see. Yeah.
So Sod__ on Twitch. You can see me on my channel streaming randomly. Also, I should note apologies for yesterday in terms of Infinity and Beyond. Arv was sick and still is sick.
Our
poor DM.
Ill. Yep,
he got the plague, as I like to call it, from children. Which
you gave it to him.
I wish I did not wish this on him. Actually, I wish he didn't have to go through this. But I mean, like when he understands when you have kids, this happens, and you just have to go through it and survive the end of it.
Hey man, I got it.
Yeah, I've only, as of like 3 days ago, I finally got rid of mine, and it's took like 2.5, 3 weeks. It's hell.
Yep.
So so you'll see us for Infinity Beyond hopefully next month if Arb's still recovered enough for that.
Well, it's the 17th. So he's got all of through Thanksgiving and everything, so he should be.
Yeah.
We should be back. I'm going to tentatively say back to our normal schedule.
Sort of, because of Christmas. I have everyone's got Christmas stuff to do and New Year's stuff to do.
Right, and actually I just realized Jen's going to be traveling on the 9th.
Yeah, we'll sort it out.
We'll sort it out.
December's a maybe.
Birthday, so I wouldn't do anything.
You would be available anyways. Exactly. All right. Maybe another one meeting, but I wanted to get done at least one in December, so we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll try and squeeze one in.
We could probably do the 16th and the 30th, maybe.
Yeah. I can't. Depends on when. Straight up.
Is that what
we'll sort all that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It might be just the 16th, I think, which is fine. One is all good. So we'll see. We'll talk amongst ourselves and figure it out.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we'll
Marie will
sort
be
that
back
out.
to join us.
And I'll also just say
Great.
tomorrow, Hearts of Woolen on here, this channel tomorrow, same time as Emberwind. So check that out if you like Wuxia drama. It's a really fun game to play and it's really cool to watch. I hope you stick around for that. Seriously.
If you guys know Mini Dungeon Monthly, it's a magazine where people do miniature, small dungeons. I wrote one that is coming out in December.
Cool.
And
Do you have a link for that? You can put that in chat.
Run somebody or have my husband run us through it. It is called the Lair of the Infernal Thief, but its unofficial title is Untitled Fiend Adventure.
Interesting.
If you have any links for that, Jen, put them in chat.
As soon as it's actually published, I will.
Sure.
But it'll be out in December.
Awesome.
Okay, very cool.
Keep an eye out for that.
All right, folks in chat, thanks very much for hanging out. We hope you enjoyed the stream and we get some love for our great players, the Ember crew, and we will post a little bit more warning. Sorry about that, Common Guy. We will give you guys a little bit more heads up as to when we're going to play next, but we will have at least one session in December. I want to guarantee. I often know I can't really do that, but I'm going to do my best to do so. So thank you, everybody, and otherwise, until next time. This is me, Johnny Panda, and the Ember crew signing off.
Bye-bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, guys.